staff and those that are participating telephonically that you please silence your cell phones. Good evening and welcome to the Orange County School Board's regularly scheduled meeting for Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Board members are attending in person with the exception of Chair Jacobs, who will be absent from this meeting. I also wanted to remind the public that board members will not be engaging in any outside electronic or digital communication during the meeting, so we can focus on the meeting itself, giving our attention to the matters immediately before us. Should you wish to contact us, please do so before or after each meeting. To my fellow board members, district staff, and members of the public, when speaking, please make sure your microphone is turned on and speak directly into it so our YouTube and Orange TV viewers can hear you clearly. Again, thank you so much for participating or attending tonight's meeting. Now we will stand for the moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. Another pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for tonight's school board meeting. We have many wonderful recognitions to share before we discuss tonight's order of business. First, we are delighted to have special guest from Addition Financial with us this evening. The representatives are here to present a check that was made possible through their school district affinity debit card program. Through this program, Addition Financial donates 3 cents to our school district every time an OCPS branded debit card is used in a transaction. Please join me in welcoming Addition Financial President and CEO Kevin Miller, who will share more about this program and how much OCPS will benefit this year. Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Vice Chair Gallo. Good evening. On behalf of Addition Financial, we're proud to be a partner with Orange County Public Schools and offer our school district debit card program. We launched the program in August 2009, creating co-branded OCPS debit cards for each high school that our members can use to show their school pride. With an OCPS debit card, every single card transaction will trigger a donation from Addition Financial to the Foundation for Orange County Public Schools. In 2022, we had more than 2 million transactions. So this year we're doing a total donation of $65,574. Since the inception of the district debit card program, Addition Financial has donated a total of $774,983.22 to the OCPS Foundation. We look forward to continuing to grow this program and our partnership with Orange County Public Schools. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today and for all that you and your teams do for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe we're going to take a picture, a photograph, if everybody will come up. Do you want us up here or down there? Okay. Scooching close, my lovelies.
Oh, yeah, we need to because they're tall. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My little pretty.
Mine was a pretty one.
Thank you so much.
Yes. A little chocolate one in the middle.
You're the chocolate on top of the sundae, honey.
Yes, honey.
Can we pass the checks to the back and you guys can hold it up and look happy?
Always happy about money.
Yay!
There you go.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
You're
Partnership.
going to miss me this year.
Yes.
You only got Karen this year. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin, and your Addition Financial team for all that you do for our students, staff, and families. Now it's time to recognize some stellar students. I would like to honor 2 OCPS students who won first place during the Dr. Nelson Ying Orange County Science Exposition held in Winter Park in February. The annual juried event provides students with an opportunity to conduct scientific research and present their findings. The competition included OCPS, charter, and private school students from throughout Orange County. West Orange High 9th grade student Noah Anderson Hall King is a 2-time first place winner. His novel model for reactor grade crystalline nuclear fuel STEM project was the best in the senior division of the mathematics and computational science category and analysis research area. Wow. I had a hard time pronouncing that, and you actually created it. So, can you stand up? Noah. There you are. Great job. That's phenomenal. His project was about developing an efficient process so a nuclear reactor would produce less waste. Kudos to you. Are you a senior, Noah? What year?
Freshman. Oh my God. Woo, baby.
Now that's what we call OCPS proud, right there.
Yeah.
Built by OCPS, right there.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
That is.
Oh my goodness. That just gave me goosebumps. The second winner is Lockhart Middle School 7th grader Adrian Jose Alvarez, who received a Best in Show award for his single-axis and double-axis solar tracker project. He completed in the junior division of the Engineering Mechanics, Material Science, and Embedded Systems category and Microcontrollers research area. His dual and single-axis solar tracker project demonstrated how an RDE no? Thank you. Software and specialized motors can automatically adjust to a solar panel's position with optimal energy output. Do we have? Is he here?
Where is he?
Can he stand, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Great job. That is so good. Both students won a medallion and a certificate from the Office of Naval Research. Noah and Adrian also competed in the 68th annual Florida State Science and Engineering Fair at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland earlier this month. Noah received a plaque for placing third, and Adrian won a merit award. Congratulations, Noah and Adrian. Job well done. Yes, let's get a picture, please.
Somebody called your name. Oh, something.
It's my mama.
Oh,
I'll call her later.
okay. Your mom's name is Paula? Oh.
Paula Jean? We're Southern, honey. They used to. It's PG, like it's supposed to be spelled with a G.
We
But she changed it
decided
to
not
J
to bite
because she says
tonight.
when
You
her
can
daddy used to
come
call her
over.
PG because she was pregnant.
All right, squishing.
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
All right, guys.
Wow, so proud.
Yes. Where's the, who is that?
How do
That's
you
the
do it
mom?
without your
I also would like to extend a big thank you to Noah's biology teacher, Leslie Ryer, and Adrian's gifted teacher, Stephanie Casper. Thank you for leading these 2 young scientists to success. Are y'all here? Do you stand? Stand up. Okay.
Acknowledge Ms. Casper for a second, because last year Noah pounded and belabored to get her to do
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's on record. That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
It's wonderful.
All right. Next, I would like to share 2 awards related to our high school high-tech program. The program is designed to provide high school students with disabilities a chance to explore jobs or post-secondary education opportunities. Currently, the high school high-tech program is in 18 of our high schools and includes more than 400 students. I am proud to announce that the OCPS program received the Able Trust High School High-Tech Site of the Year Award. That's fabulous. OCPS competed against 42 other similar programs statewide. The criteria for this top honor focused on excellence in providing career preparation and work-based learning experiences, youth development, leadership, family involvement, and communication skills to students with disabilities. The program also boasts a 99% graduation rate, which is twice the rate of all other students with disabilities in the state of Florida. The Able Trust recognized district resource teacher Franco Frazetta for helping OCPS receive remarkable ratings by developing an innovative curriculum and establishing strong community partnerships. He was also noted for his tremendous effort leading teachers to provide rigorous instructions both in the classroom and throughout the community. To tell us more about this award, I would like to invite Associate Superintendent of Exceptional Student Education, Wendy Ivory, to the podium. Welcome, Mrs. Ivory.
Thank you. Good evening, Vice Chair Gallo, school board members, and Superintendent Vasquez. Thank you for taking the time to recognize the amazing things that are happening in our ESE department. We're thrilled to announce the Able Trust recognized OCPS with the High School High-Tech Site of the Year Award for 2022-2023. This recognition is based on the hands-on support provided by ESE resource teacher Franco Frazetta to teachers for their students to create a small business enterprise or volunteer in community organization needs. OCPS has the largest program in the state of Florida with over 400 students enrolled in high school high tech. This school year, Franco Frazetta has expanded the program to include students with more involved disabilities enrolled in the ESE Transition School. Franco has worked to build great relationships with all stakeholders, which have been an integral part of the success of the program. He works very closely with the students and teachers on their projects and communicates very well with parents. We're very proud of the work he has done to build and grow this program. Please help me recognize Mr. Franco Frazetta.
We're going to take some pictures.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pizzetta.
Good. Oh, we have more people? Good.
Yes, Ann, come.
Anybody else? Are you look like you want to be up there. Stay there. Hold on. My assistant.
No? Get in.
Get in here, come on.
Hold on, let me have your phone. Okay, I just
He can't handle that.
on eBay.
Bless them to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Kudos to Franco and the high school team high tech program. Franco, stay close for the next one. You're in the loop, right? Because I'm not. The high school high-tech program at Windermere won first place during the Able Trust 2023 Project Venture Entrepreneurial Competition at the Margaritaville Resort in Orlando in March. The two-time winning student team competed against two other school districts with their Baby Buddy product, which is a safety bracelet worn by parents as a reminder not to leave their children in a hot vehicle. That's awesome. Thank you to Varying Exceptionalities teacher Irma Brathwaite-Lamada, I hope I got that correct, and School Resource Officer Michael Kleinfeld for guiding, mentoring, and providing the high school high-tech team with the necessary skills to create a successful business pitch, product, and strategy and obtain real-world experience. I'd like to invite Franco to tell us more about this amazing achievement.
All right. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Project Venture is a competition for high school students with disabilities, tasking teams to prepare, present comprehensive business plans to promote and sell a new product or service. Students participating in this plan must first make it past the first round of judging, where its written business plans are picked apart by relevant panel of presidents, CEOs, and owners of businesses and organizations within our state. The panel selects their top 3 selections to make it to the final round of judging, where students must present their product in front of a different panel of judges on a stage in a room larger than this, filled with many current leaders in their industries. Impressively, our students were able to navigate both of these situations and become state champions not once but twice. It's just impressive. Jordan, JC, Stephanie, Veronica, and Damien, our students, they used the learned problem-solving skills at a level that's just truly remarkable. As a team, they sought out the primary resource and the guidance of SRO Kleinfeld to create a product to solve a real community problem. They utilized the guidance of adult mentorships from Universal Studios, Mr. Mormon and Mr. Rapassi, who run a business leadership series, and to polish their presentation. And then finally, from their guidance of Ms. Brathwaite-Lamada, prototyped and refined their products that is competitive with other products in industry. Lastly, the funds provided by the grant and our partnership with the Able Trust, our students have actually taken last year's winning product, which was the Belt Buddy, and has taken concept to production with the manufacturing of a product that they run as a school-based enterprise. So if you can join me with giving our team a round of applause. Thank you.
Can we have everybody come up for a photo op, please? Yeah, the whole team, everybody. It's time to stand. So congratulations.
Thank you, congratulations.
Is that good? Good, good, good. Look amazing. Look amazing again. Hold on. Perfect. You want to hop in? No. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Great job. Congratulations.
Great job.
Congratulations, sweetie. God bless you.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Windermere High students, on receiving this awesome accolade and for developing a product that will help save children's lives. I would also like to thank all of our high school high-tech teachers and the exceptional student education department for preparing our students with disabilities for a life after high school. I'd like to recognize Member Gould.
This is a sliver of some of the absolutely incredible programs that we offer all of our students. The high tech is absolutely incredible because obviously the jobs that are available for these students in the future is just going to be an amazing opportunity for them. But also, if you walked into the lobby a little earlier, you saw another one of our ESC programs, and that is Special Hearts Farms. And that's an incredible partnership between an on-site farm and the OCPS ESC education program. So kids can actually transition right there and stay on their jobs even after they transition out of the school-based K-12 programs. So, success finds its way in all ways when we can bring the community together and our great educators. And I want to thank the superintendent, this board, who have been amazing, amazing leaders in making sure every single student has an opportunity. So we have seen the spectrum of opportunities tonight with a spectrum of students. So thank you.
Well said, Member Gould. And now I would like to recognize some of our awesome student athletes from Dr. Phillips, Freedom, Lake Nona, Olympia, Windermere, and Winter Park High Schools for winning state championships. Please welcome. They're wonderful. Please welcome Lonnie Flores, District Senior Administrator of Athletics and Wellness Services, who will be sharing the accomplishments of these awesome winter 2023 student athletes. Mr. Flores, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Chair Gallo, board members, and Superintendent Vasquez. It is now my honor to recognize 4 excellent teams and 2 individual champions from our winter sports season. First up is the Olympia High School boys wrestling team. Once again, this sports season, Olympia boys wrestling team was named the state 3A academic champions with a team GPA of 3.453. They were first of only 28 other schools in the state of Florida who had a combined team GPA of at least 3.0. At this time, I would like to recognize the students, coaches, and staff of Olympia High School. The principal is Christy Goldberg. The athletic director is Russell Rambles. And at this time, I would like to have head coach Jeremy Borst introduce his student athletes.
Thank you. We're very excited to be the academic state champions. We would like to remind everybody, or let everybody know as well, we did win our first district and metro titles since 2005 this year as well. So we're really proud of this team and everything that they've done. So thank you very much. First of all, I would like to introduce my assistant coach, Brian Blocker. Wrestlers, Madden Borst, Greg Campanella, Jorge Carpio.
Please stand up when your name is announced so that we can recognize you. Thank you.
Jorge Carpio. Matthew Cobb, Tony Ho, Owen Jacobs, Phil Lamandola, Jack Lynn, Brian Wynn, Miles O'Toole, Shiv Patel, Laith Alothman, Ethan Rivera, Fabian Ruiz, Matthew Sheldon, Tyson Wilson, and Zach Winkelcotter. Thank you.
Are we going to do pictures after each one?
Yeah, and then we'll take them out.
Okay, perfect. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, that's right, because we're coming in one at a time. But that wasn't in my script. Is that my script? I don't know what to do.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Great job.
Couple on this side. And if you're going to hold that up, make sure it's right side up.
Call you out.
I'll totally call you out. And you didn't, you have a note from home, you didn't bring yours? Look happy, look very happy. And on 3, because 1, 2, and 3, look very happy. Now wrestler face for everybody.
Great job. Congratulations, boys.
Everyone, please follow me. Thanks for coming, guys.
Yep, Lonnie's still up there, so.
It is.
Go straight ahead and clearly let you out. Thank you.
The next team we will recognize is the Winter Park Competitive Cheer Team. Winter Park claimed the FHSA Competitive Cheerleading State 2A Championship in the medium division, making them back-to-back state champions. The team was the Metro East team champion for the 2022-23 school year. The team was also the Region 2 medium champions. The team won the state title by defeating Haggerty, Bloomingdale, Western, Childs, Lords, West Orange, and Crestview with a final score of 91.40, which is the school record for state final scoring. This is the school's 10th team championship, tying them with West Nassau for second all-time in the state of Florida. At this time, I would like to recognize the student athletes, coaches, and staff for Winter Park High School. The principal is Matthew Arnold. The athletic director is Andy Childs. At this time, I would like to have head coach Angela Austin introduce her student athletes.
Hello, thank you very much for having us today. Thank you, Superintendent and the school board for having us. It's a pleasure to be here once again. I would like to first thank our amazing principal, Mr. Arnold, and our athletic director, Andy Childs, for all of their support this season. We had an incredible year. At this time, I would like to introduce the assistant coach. We have assistant coach Amy Birchfield-Retz, who is also a Winter Park graduate and former cheerleader. Our athletes, and I'm saying them in order by grade. First, we have Andrea Bravo Franco, senior. Kira Cassidy, senior. Maya Patton, senior. Lauren Schinkel, senior. Samantha Weiner, senior. We have our juniors, Kelsey Benkel, Kate Frinfrock, Kinsley Linton, Kennedy Mon, Haley Michael, Ryan Story, Carter Thomas, Mia Visor, who's not here today because she's playing flag football in a game. We also have our sophomores, Leighton Bishop, Claire Cash, Caroline Drury, Hope Gebelhoff, Lila Rain, Lillian Van Son, and Addison Walker. And I'm Angela Austin, the very proud head cheer coach. Thank you.
Congratulations. Go Wildcats. We're gonna do a picture, so
Yes. Come on up, Addison.
ladies, if you can come up.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's wonderful.
You gotta keep up the streak, right?
I know.
Why don't we get on the opposite
Yes, yes. 2 bits, 4 bits, $1. Do you know the rest of it? All the Wildcats, stand up and holler! Woo!
Yes, I was a cheerleader.
That's the only one I knew.
We won't give up our day jobs.
I know.
Ready? Look amazing on 3. Good 1, 2, and 3. Stay there. Look happy.
Thank you. Congratulations. Good job. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, buddy. Congratulations. The next team we will recognize is the Windermere competitive cheer team.
Yes.
Oh, there, okay. Windermere claimed the FHSA competitive cheerleading state 2A championship in the small division. This is the school's first state championship in competitive cheer. The team was the Metro West champions, as well as the team was the Region 2 small champions. The team won the state title by defeating Durant, Tate, Park Vista, George Steinbrenner, Nice, Jupiter, Timber Creek, Land O'Lakes, and Wiregrass with a final score of 85.40. At this time, I would like to recognize the student athletes, coaches, and staff of Windermere High School. The principal for Windermere High School is Andrew Latakis, and the athletic director for Windermere High School is Chad Springer. At this time, I would like to have the head coach, Annie McClellan, announce her student athletes.
Thank you so much. This is a really emotional moment for me because, I've been coaching for a very long time, and obviously for as much work as all the girls put in all year long, there's nothing more rewarding than getting rewarded for it. So, although I don't have all my girls here tonight, a lot of them do competitive cheerleading outside of high school cheer. We try to definitely work with both so that they can have two different experiences. And one of the biggest competitions is this weekend, so most of them are at practice. But thank you so much for having us. And the girls that I do have here are Lilia Piper, she's a junior, and Piper Johnston. And without the support of the school, they've always been so supportive of the cheer team. We've been to states now 6 times. We've gotten second place 4 times. One time we got 5th, but we don't talk about that one. But we did get second, so to finally win a state championship for Orange County and for Windermere High School was truly an honor. So thank you.
Congratulations. All right, let's get a picture.
Come on, we have to have a Wolverine picture.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Well done.
Wonderful. Who's the ball here, guy?
Thank you.
Basketball team.
The next school we'll recognize is Dr. Phillips girls basketball team. Dr. Phillips High School girls basketball team won the FHSA State 7A championship, making them back-to-back state champions. The team was the Metro West champions for the 2022-23 school year. They were also the district and regional champions. The team won the state title by defeating Miami 40-31 in the semifinals and Winter Haven 47-43 in the finals. They finished the year as the #1 team in the state of Florida, regardless of class, with an overall record of 25-1. This is the school's 6th team championship, tying them with Fairview and South Broward for 4th all-time in the state of Florida. Also, only the 3rd school to win consecutive championships in the state of Florida. At this time, I would like to recognize the student athletes, coaches, and staff of Dr. Phillips High School. The principal is Jackie Ramsey, and the athletic director is Steve McHale. At this time, I would like to have head coach Anthony Jones introduce the student athletes.
Good evening, everyone. It is always an honor to be here again for this special occasion. I do want to thank the board members here and all of Orange County for allowing this opportunity to recognize our special athletes. Starting off, I want to introduce our athletic director, Stephen McHale. Our assistant principal, Vanessa Morrow. Other assistant principal, Nabria Johnson. Our assistant coaches, Tyrone Scott, Abner Ham, Tiara Brown, and Sam Brown. We have a big staff. All right, this is what we've been waiting on. These are our special athletes. I'm very proud of these young ladies. I think last year they stated that this was girl power. I guess it's 2 years in a row for girl power. All right, we're going to start off with our senior class. On my far right, your left, Jordan Ward. Junior class, Trinity Turner. Another junior, Taylor Gagier. Now my sophomores, Ronice Berry, Mia Heredia. No, I think you guys got a full stand-up. Next one, Mia Heredia. Thank you. Good. Soraya Johnson. I'm still on sophomores. Next sophomore, Elise Horn. And Annalise Roland. Now our lonely freshman here, Kendall Perry. And Brianna Blunt. They're actually a lot taller than their coach. They didn't want to stand completely all the way up. But again, thank you for this honor. It's always a pleasure to be here. Spending time with these teenagers is always a learning experience every year. I know there's some parents out in the audience. Again, thank you for all your support. And again, go DP.
We're going to get a photo op, but before we do, Member Felder would like to say a few words, and then we'll get a photo op.
Yes, thank you so much. DP, yes, baby. I'm so proud of you all and proud of Coach Anthony Johnson. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I opened Dr. Phillips High School back in 1987, and the reputation has continued with excellence in the area of not just academics, but sports and with girls basketball. I am so happy and I'm so proud of you all. And I have my little thing on too. So thank you all so much, and thank you for your hard work. And I want you to always remember that you are a student athlete. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Tall people in front.
Thank you for giving them to me. It was reluctant, but okay. It was reluctant release.
Yes. All right. Girl power.
So make sure the writing's the correct way. Make sure you can, perfect. But don't block any board members. That's not allowed.
Fine. You're a little tall.
Board members up on your toes just a tad. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations. Yes, baby. Yeah, baby. I'm so proud of y'all. Yes. So proud of y'all. Good to meet you. So proud of y'all, baby girl. Yeah. Diva. So proud of y'all. Yeah, you're welcome. So proud of y'all. I'm so proud of y'all. Yes, sir. Yes. Diva. So proud of y'all. Okay. So proud of y'all. Hey, girl. So proud of y'all. Hey, baby girl. So proud of y'all. So proud of y'all. Yes, so proud of you, baby. Yes.
At this time, I would like to recognize our two individual state champions. First is Cameron Galvin, a 12th grade student from Freedom High School who won her second state championship with a victory in a 115-pound weight class. She is also the two-time regional, district, and metro champion. She was ranked as high as 3rd in the country. She was the Metro East Wrestling Academic Award winner with a grade point average of 5.1. She'll be attending Florida State University to study civil engineering.
Go Knowles.
At this time, I would like to recognize the coaches and staff of Freedom High School. The principal, Cheryl Neely. The athletic director, Robert Rego. And the head girls wrestling coach, Michael Bush. Our second individual state champion is Melina Borelli, a 10th grade student from Lake Nona High School. She won the state wrestling championship with a victory in the 120-pound weight class. She holds a 43-5 season record. She was also the district and regional champion this year to add to her state title. She was awarded the 2022-2023 Most Outstanding Wrestler for Lake Nona High School and was selected as a 2023 United States Marine Corps Women's National Championship All-American. Congratulations, Melina. And at this time, I would like to recognize the coaches and staff for Lake Nona. The principal, Ms. Nikki Campbell. The athletic director, Chelsea John. And the girls wrestling head coach, Eric Scrivens. I think we're ready for pictures.
And yeah, we're ready for pictures. Are we going to do them individually? Okay, let's do Freedom first. Yes, parents, grandparents, whoever's here, come join us. Yeah.
Grandparents, come on.
Family,
Everybody. Bring the whole family. Yeah, it's so wonderful. I'm so proud of
Hold on. Good. Look amazing. Look amazing again. Excellent.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations, go Knowles.
Oh my goodness.
Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! Congratulations, thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, grandparents.
Yes.
Next, come on.
Lake Nona?
Yes. Yeah, she had the bracket. Yeah.
We'll leave your water bottle off to the side.
Oh, yeah.
You can go first. Drop anybody out. Tell them to smile. Smile big. All right, thank you. Good. Stay there, my turn. Look happy. Excellent. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Come over here and get one. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Lions.
Thank you, Mr. Flores.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sports have a positive impact on students and help them succeed inside and outside the classroom. We applaud our coaches for the leadership, guidance, and support you offer our student athletes each and every day. Students, you represent your family, school, and this district exceptionally well, and we couldn't be more proud to celebrate your achievements. Well done. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, now we have a few proclamations. We are proclaiming May 2023 as Asian American and Pacific Islander Month in Orange County Public Schools. We're proclaiming May 2023 as Haitian Heritage Month in Orange County Public Schools. We're also proclaiming May 2023 as Better Hearing and Speech Month in Orange County Public Schools, along with proclaiming May 2023 as Building Safety Month in Orange County Public Schools. We're also proclaiming May 2023 as Internal Audit Awareness Month in Orange County Public Schools, and proclaiming May 2023 as National Foster Care Awareness Month in Orange County Public Schools. And we're also proclaiming May 2023 as Mental Health Awareness Month and May 11th, 2023, National Children's Mental Health Awareness Day in Orange County Public Schools. We're also proclaiming May 5th, 2023 as National School Lunch Hero Day in Orange County Public Schools, and I will be reading the proclamation. Whereas the staff of Orange County Public Schools Food and Nutrition Services Department is committed to providing healthy and nutritious meals to students, and whereas the food service staff who prepare and serve school meals help nurture our children through their daily interaction and support, and whereas food service professionals worked on the front lines during the COVID-19 pandemic and ensured our students had nutritious meals, and whereas school nutrition professionals were forced to work differently and harder by implementing new safety protocols for in-person students to preparing to-go meals for distant learners during the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas OCPS expresses its deep appreciation to these valuable employees and commends their excellent work on behalf of the district's school children, now, therefore, be it resolved, the School Board of Orange County, Florida, does hereby proclaim May 5th, 2023 as National School Lunch Hero Day in Orange County Public Schools. We have members of our food and nutrition staff here. Will y'all please stand up to be recognized? Are we getting a picture? Yes? And some of us did. We were going to do the Wonder Woman, but. What?
All right.
Picture.
All right.
What?
Come on in. Yes. Uh-oh. Is that your old one or your current?
Good. 1, 2, 3, yum. Yum. Stay there.
Thank you again for all that you do. We're also proclaiming May. I am so sorry. Member Gould.
So before you all leave, stop. I just want to thank you too. While I was the CEO of Shepherd's Hope, Orange County Public Schools was very instrumental in the food service department in making sure not only the families of our schools, but the families who could not get out got fed through great partnerships with the food banks, with other not-for-profits. And you went well and above and beyond, as you do every single day in our schools for our entire community. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Gould. We are proclaiming May 8th through 12th, 2023 as Teacher Appreciation Week in Orange County Public Schools. I'd like to invite Mr. McCracken. He's there, he is, the President of the Orange County Classroom Teachers Association, to come forward and read the proclamation.
Thank you. Good evening, Dr. Vasquez, members of the board, and all our educators. It is a great privilege to present this proclamation in honor of Teacher Appreciation Week. Teachers are nothing short of heroes as they create inspiring and magical learning opportunities for our students each day. Our teachers do an outstanding job with instruction, but their dedication goes far beyond helping students excel academically. They also guide them through conflicts, lend a hand when they stumble, inspire them to dream big, provide resources to those in need, and so much more, as we've seen tonight. I'm thrilled and proud that our district recognizes teachers for their tireless efforts and is showing this appreciation for all that they do to help our students succeed and inspire them to find their place in this world. And the proclamation, whereas the School Board of Orange County deeply appreciates and values the work and commitment of its instructional staff, especially during these unprecedented times. And whereas the vision of Orange County Public Schools is to ensure every student has a promising and successful future. And whereas the school district's vision includes our teachers and the support of families and the community. And whereas teachers who are using their creativity when teaching students and engaging with parents are essential components for student success during distance learning. And whereas teaching is a profession that requires the ability and desire to impart knowledge, creativity, patience, and persistence, and to adapt all learning environments for all students. And whereas teachers dedicate themselves to their students' academic success, as well as their social emotional well-being, and whereas besides parents and family members, teachers are the most influential individuals in the lives of our students and their future. And whereas Teacher Appreciation Week is observed nationally in May, now therefore be it resolved, the School Board of Orange County, Florida encourages parents, students, administrators, support staff, community partners, and citizens to show admiration and gratitude to OCPS teachers and does hereby proclaim May 8 through 12, 2023 as Teacher Appreciation Week in Orange County Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Clinton. We have a few board members that want to speak to you, so don't go anywhere. Member Dr. Kester-Dental.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And to Clinton, thank you for all that you do on behalf of all the teachers in Orange County. You represent them so well. And I know that you've been going to all the different schools throughout the days and the weeks, talking to the faculty and letting them know that you have their back. And I want to urge any of the teachers that are listening who are not members of the teachers union to join. It is vital that we have a strong teachers union to make sure that our classrooms are run the way our students learn best, because a student's learning conditions are a teacher's teaching conditions. So it's so important that teachers are a part of the union. I know you have to pay extra, but it is worth every penny. If we don't have enough members of our faculty in the union, if we don't have 60% or more, then our union goes away. It will become decertified, and then no teachers in our district will have the backing of our Classroom Teachers Association. And as hard as I know the board members will fight for teachers' rights, you need to have the CTA on your side. So if anyone is on the fence about joining your union, I would do it before the end of this school year. And I know that they can sign up on the Classroom Teachers Association website. And there's my PSA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Castor-Dental. Member Byrd.
Thank you. I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of our teachers. I think we saw tonight already so many examples of teachers, educators that just go above and beyond every single day. And I after our ESC department shared that program, I turned to the superintendent and I was just like, this is, this kind of stuff is going on in our classrooms every single day. And I want to make sure that we don't lose sight of that when we get caught up in all the noise that's out in the world happening right now with education. And I'm afraid that our teachers don't know how much we appreciate every single thing they do, because there's just a lot of negativity out there right now with education. So I want to make sure that we take the time to really thank our teachers and let them know that we see the things they do. And if you're not seeing what they're doing, I would strongly encourage you to take some time to go out to a school and just spend a little time in a classroom, even if it's not, even if you can't volunteer all the time, just once a month if you can, and just see some of the things that are happening. These teachers are just go above and beyond. I was just thinking earlier today about an algebra teacher at one of my schools that when the pandemic went on and kids didn't get to take the end of course exams on time, they're required to pass the algebra exam to get their high school diploma. And he teaches it in 7th grade. And the kids that were in 8th grade that he had the year before that he wasn't even a teacher for, he would stay after school like 3 days a week tutoring them to help them pass their end of course exam in 8th grade, even though he wasn't even their teacher anymore. Those are the kinds of things that these teachers are doing every single day. And they're not even asked to. They do it because they love their jobs, they love these kids. And I really want to encourage us not to get lost in the noise and to remember that there are unbelievable things happening every single day in our schools, and take the time to tell a teacher that you appreciate them and that you appreciate the job they do. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Byrd. I'll echo what my fellow board members have said. When my kids were in school and growing up, one of my favorite things of the school year was Teacher Appreciation Week, because it was the time that the PT would come in, and I have baked thousands of cookies. I have baked thousands of casseroles. We've washed cars when we were allowed to wash cars and use the water. I don't think that's allowed anymore. But we did so many fun things for the teachers just as a way to show you are appreciated, you are loved, and we are so thankful that you are taking care of our children and you're teaching our children every single day. And it's more important now than ever that we let our teachers know that you are appreciated. We see you, we hear you, we're here for you. It's important. And I'll echo what Dr. Castor-Dental said about joining the union. These are some tough times. So if you've been thinking about joining the union, please do so by the end of the year. Make sure that you're a member. Your membership is more important now than ever. So I would encourage you to do that as well. And to thank a teacher, to all the parents, any of those that are listening online, please just take a minute that week to write a note, thank a teacher, let them know that they're appreciated. They're working really, really hard under some stressful conditions right now. So it's just more important that you do. So I hope there's wonderful celebrations going on in our schools on that week. Hopefully I can get into a few to see what's going on, but that's always just such a fun week. So thank you for being here. And now, Member Gould.
Well, it's like they were reading my mind on some things. I won't repeat what they said, but I will reiterate one thing, and that is whether you have children in school or not, and I'm pushing this out to the community, make sure you thank those that are the heartbeat of our education system, because a lot of the rhetoric and the sound bites and the headlines that we hear are not even close to the stories that we could tell in every single school. And if you look at the success of our athletes, the success of our exceptional students, the success of our ELL students, the success of those who are interested in learning, not only scholastically, but a trade and a vocation, it is all because they've had the guidance, support, love, care, and nurturing of a great and exceptional teaching staff. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Member Salamanca.
Okay. Thank you so much for just being here, and it's always so great to see your face out there in the audience in all of these meetings, and for teachers that don't see you here at every school board meeting, and just how incredible of a representative and a voice you are for them. So personally, I want to thank you for that, for being someone that it's really just a delight to work with and to be a thought partner with when we're talking about some really difficult topics up here. And just to thank teachers, I'm a product of OCPS, and there were some really incredible teachers that shaped me. And the day that I started being a school board member, that I got sworn in, I gave so many of them a shout out in helping me find my voice. And so much of who I am today and who I represent is because of really incredible teachers. And I always try to encourage parents to also thank their teachers for all they do, and how many of them just go the extra mile and stay the extra hours because they know the role that they're playing in shaping hearts and minds. And it's the most important job anyone can have, really. So I want to thank them. I do want to encourage them to be part of CTA and continue supporting the really great work that the CTA does together and working with us as a school board, and having that leadership and united voice. It really goes a long way. So thank you, Clinton, for everything you do.
My pleasure.
Member Front.
Okay, I think everybody said everything, and I'm one of the last, so just want to shout out all the teachers for everyone who is watching. I just finished up visiting all the schools in my district, which is a little over 30, and so fun to get into the campuses and see teachers in action and see them pouring their hearts out, and watching the social studies teacher who's creating the igloo or the different environments to help them see firsthand and feel like they're in the environment that they're learning about, or the cooking or whatever it might be. The math teachers who's making math fun somehow, thank you. Because of you, our kids are learning and growing stronger every day. So I appreciate that, and we appreciate you. And thank you so much.
Dr. Vasquez.
Thank you. I think I'm the last one. A shout out to all of our exceptional teachers. One of the greatest joys I've had, especially during my first 100 days, was visiting the schools and seeing them in action and hearing from them the dedication that they have for our students and for our community. And we're so grateful that they are here and that they're doing so much for our children and our families. I do want to say a special thank you to Clinton, who has been wonderful during my transition. I've appreciated the collaboration, the honesty in which you've been able to share with me things that may be not in the best interest of our teachers, and helping me maneuver that so that we're able to really provide our teachers with the resources that they need, the working environment that they need, and you have made my transition very smooth. So thank you.
Likewise, thank you, Dr. Vasquez, and to the whole board, our community, and thank you to all our teachers.
Thank you. Thank you, Clinton. Yeah, Clinton. I know we Yeah. Let's go down.
You have some team people?
Vice Chair, could we maybe see if there's any teachers in the audience and invite them up for the picture? Any teachers in the audience at all? Come on up.
All right, we'll get.
I'm right here.
Fabulous. Hold on, stay there. Perfect, thank you.
Yes, yes, baby. Oh, God.
You got this. Did you take Tiffany's picture?
Yeah, I was feeling a little sick.
All right, that concludes the fun part of our meeting. Now we're going to start the business part. So any of those in the audience who are here for the recognitions, the proclamations, and do not wish to sit through the rest of the board meeting, you are free to leave. Yeah. Oh. All right, Dr. Vasquez, do we have any newly appointed administrators to present tonight?
We do not, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you. Dr. Vasquez, are there any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda.
Thank you. In order to provide governmental transparency as well as responsible opportunities for the public to access and participate in the decision-making process, there are various methods by which the public can provide input to the school board on an agenda item. Those include coming to speak to the school board in person, using the call-in option, and via email in advance of the meeting. These methods are all published on the district's website and in BoardDocs. Mrs. Inval, do we have anyone who has come to speak to the school board in person or anyone who has called in to speak on an item on today's agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have 15 in-person speakers, all for item 3.02. And I wanted to bring to your attention that 2 notices were posted for today's meeting. One was posted for our business meeting to start at 4:45. The other was a notice for the public hearing portion regarding rezoning to start at 5:30. Though we have 15 people that signed up in person to speak to 3.02 and fill out the yellow card, it's been brought to my attention we do have one individual who thought that the 15-minute window was open before the 5:30 time, so did not sign up during the original time. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention and whether or not you want to hear from that one individual. I believe it's also on item 3.02.
Yes, we would. Yes,
All right.
please.
So that's what we have, just 3.02.
Thank you, Mrs. Inval. In order to provide governmental transparency as well as reasonable opportunities for the public to access and participate in the decision-making process, the opportunities for the public to participate in this meeting to provide public comment on the published agenda are as follows. Public comment in person. Do I have to read all this?
I think you just did.
I know, I think it's a repeat, right?
Yes.
Okay, so ditto.
Start with the first speaker.
All right, now I gotta find where I am. Okay. The public is reminded that all comments made in person or telephonically are subject to board policies regarding civility and length of communication, up to 3 minutes, the time limit for public comment that has already been established through school board policy. Okay, 3.01, public hearing, request for approval of the targeted rezoning for Kelly Park School adjustment to commence August 2023. Dr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. We are requesting and will need board approval to proceed with the targeted rezoning for Kelly Park School. And I'm going to ask Stacy Neal to come up and give you information on 3.01.
Good afternoon. I am Stacy Neal, the Director of Student Enrollment. We are here at the public hearing to present 2 relief schools and 2 targeted rezonings. Prior to the beginning of the presentation, I would like to introduce the student enrollment staff who will be presenting alongside me this afternoon. We have Renata Parapche, Dr. Andy Westerman, and Amy McCormick. So thank you for attending. Today, like I said, we are presenting the options for our targeted rezonings of Kelly Park School Adjustment, Overlook at Hamlin, and Sanctuary, option 1, and 129M SE2, and 50 HSE2. And these are the relief schools, both located in Lake Nona. All rezonings, no matter how small, follow School Board Policy JC. A quick review of the 8 steps of this policy. Steps 1 through 4, staff with approval from the superintendent begins the process with the creation of a timeline and meeting with internal stakeholders. Staff conducts research and data collection, then creates possible options or options for the rezoning. Step 5, staff holds a community meeting to present options. We explain the process and answer any questions. Step 6, the rule development workshop. Step 7, we're here tonight, the public hearing. Step 8 is in regards to the housing of the rezoning notebook. To describe the scope of the rezoning, we use the terms technical, targeted, targeted and relief schools. Technical, no students are involved. Targeted are selected areas and recommended to be moved, and there are few students involved. Relief school rezonings, where a new school is opening and it affects a large area and a large number of students. Here is the rezoning timeline for this round of rezonings. February 21st, we held the community meeting here in the Ronald Blocker Educational Leadership Center. March 21st, we held the Rural Development Workshop, and today we're here for the public hearing. We have also provided the timeline for when the specific rezonings, if approved, will go into effect. Kelly Park School Adjustment, Overlook at Hamlin and Sanctuary will commence August 2023. 129M SE2 and 50 HSE2 will commence August of 2024. All relief schools have a unique name that follows a specific naming convention. In this example, 50 is the OCPS real estate number. H shows that this is a high school relief. SE denotes the school is in the Southeast Learning Community, and 2 is the school board member district. Where to find the rezoning information on our webpage. You must go to www.ocps.net, how to enroll school rezonings. Once you have reached the website, you can click on the school level that you are interested in, and you will see the timeline, dates of the community meeting, and if the meeting was WebEx, the links to the recording would be here as well. After the community meeting, the map options are posted and located here. You can access the input survey links. Once rezoning is completed, the board-approved options will be posted here also. The grandfather transfer is in place to ease the rezoning transition. To find the grandfather transfer, you would go to the OCPS website and how to enroll, where you will find the box for transfers, and then complete the grandfather transfer online. Eligibility for the grandfather transfer is as follows, and a student must fit one of the following criteria. Student has been rezoned by OCPS 2 or more times during a school level at the current address. A student has been rezoned from an established school to another established school. In this case, the student may remain at the existing school instead of being assigned to the rezoned school. A student will be in the 5th or 8th grade who will be rezoned to a new relief elementary or middle school. Also, transportation is not provided by OCPS, and siblings may be eligible to transfer with the student who is granted grandfather transfer, so long as the school has an available seat for the sibling and the school is not over capacity. In addition, the transfer for the sibling will only be available for 1 school year. The deadline to apply for the grandfather transfer is May 10th, 2023, and this is for the targeted rezonings, April 30th of 2024 for the relief schools. After tonight's public hearing, we will post the newly voted on options. Dr. Vasquez and school board members, this concludes my introduction. Oh my God. And we will begin the targeted rezonings. Amy.
Good evening. My name is Amy McCormick, and I will present the advertised options for the targeted rezonings this evening. The first advertised rezoning is the Kelly Park School adjustment. The elementary school targeted area is currently zoned for Zellwood Elementary. Please review the map where you can see that the red lines represent the current elementary school zones. The line at the top is the Lake County line. The area we are proposing to be rezoned is the yellow area. There are currently 21 OCPS elementary students residing in the targeted yellow area. The recommendation is to move the targeted area from Zellwood Elementary to Kelly Park School to provide additional future enrollment for Kelly Park School. If the rezoning is approved, this is how the zones will look. The purple area is Kelly Park School, and the green area is Zellwood Elementary. If approved, this targeted rezoning would go into effect in August 2023. The second portion of the advertised option is for the Kelly Park School adjustment. It's for middle school. The targeted area is currently zoned for Wolf Lake Middle. Please review the map where you can see that the green lines represent the current middle school zones. The area we are proposing to be rezoned is the yellow area. Currently, 14 OCPS middle school students reside in the targeted yellow area. The recommendation is to move the targeted area from Wolf Lake Middle to Kelly Park School to reduce the future enrollment at Wolf Lake Middle. If the rezoning is approved, this is how the zones are going to look. The purple area is Kelly Park School, and the green area is Wolf Lake Middle. If approved, this targeted rezoning would go into effect in August 2023. The table here shows the effect of creating this zone. The first column shows each of the school's permanent program capacity, or PPC. That's 1,248 for Kelly Park School, 1,132 for Wolf Lake Middle, and 578 for Zellwood Elementary. The next column shows the enrollment as of 10/17/22 with the percentage of white, black, and other, as well as the percentage of non-Hispanic and Hispanic. For example, Kelly Park School opened this year and on 10/17/22 had an enrollment of 795, percentage of 68% white, 24% black, and 8% other. Also 68% non-Hispanic and 32% Hispanic. The third column shows the current number of students residing. That's 961 for Kelly Park School, of which 591 are elementary grade level and 370 are middle grade level. The fourth column shows the proposed and projected numbers for when the schools open in 2023. For example, for Kelly Park School, the proposed resides is 996, with 70% white, 25% black, 5% other, 69% non-Hispanic, and 31% Hispanic. And looking at between 845 to 865 projected students in 2023. You can review the numbers for Wolf Lake Middle and Zellwood Elementary in the next rows. The final three columns represent other demographic information currently and proposed should this targeted rezoning occur for 2023. FARMS stands for Free and Reduced Meals, ESE is for Exceptional Student Education, and ELL stands for English Language Learners. You can see for Kelly Park School, FARMS is currently at 42% and proposed is 41%. ESE is currently 16% and would remain the same at 16%. Finally, ELL is currently at 8% and would remain the same at 8%. You may review the proposed numbers for Wolf Lake Middle and Zellwood Elementary in the other rows. I'll give everyone a moment to review those numbers. We have received community input for this targeted rezoning, and the results are as follows. For both the elementary and middle school advertised option, 2 in support, 1 opposed. This concludes my presentation for the Kelly Park School Adjustment targeted rezoning. Dr. Vasquez?
Thank you. Board, we will need your approval to move forward with the rezoning.
Thank you. Member Byrd, you're recognized.
I appreciate all the work you guys do. I always love how you are always looking to the future, making sure we're prepared. So thank you for your work on this, and I would like to make a motion to approve the proposed rezone.
Thank you, Member Byrd. Is there a second? A motion made by Member Byrd, seconded by Member Gould. All in favor? Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Thank you. Now we are moving on to 3.02, public hearing request approval, the targeted rezoning for Overlook at Hamlin and the Sanctuary to commence August 2023. Dr. Vasquez.
Thank you. We are requesting approval of the targeted rezoning for Overlook at Hamlin and the Sanctuary for the August 2023 school year. We will have staff review the information from that rezoning.
The following targeted rezoning we're presenting is Overlook at Hamlin and Sanctuary. The targeted area is separated by a chain of lakes from Independence Elementary, limiting direct access to the school. Again, you can see that the red lines represent the current elementary school zones. The area to be rezoned is in yellow. There are currently 115 OCPS elementary students residing in the targeted yellow area. This option would move the targeted area from Independence Elementary to Summer Lake Elementary. If this rezoning is approved, this is how the zones will look. The purple area is Summer Lake Elementary, and the green area is Independence Elementary. If approved, this targeted rezoning would go into effect in August 2023. This table shows the effect of creating these zones for the elementary schools. The first column shows each of the school's permanent program capacity, or PPC. That's 786 for Independence Elementary and 751 for Summer Lake Elementary. I'll give everyone a moment to review these numbers. Next is the middle school advertised option for this targeted rezoning. This targeted area helps to align the middle school feeder with the proposed elementary feeder. You can see on the map that the green lines represent the current middle school zones. The area to be rezoned is in yellow. Currently, 75 OCPS middle school students reside in the targeted yellow area. This option would move the targeted area from Bridgewater Middle to Hamlin Middle. If the rezoning is approved, this is how the zones would look. The purple area is Hamlin Middle, and the green area is Bridgewater Middle. If approved, this targeted rezoning would go into effect in August 2023. This table shows the effect of creating these zones for the middle schools. The first column shows each of the school's permanent program capacity, or PPC. That's 1,028 for Bridgewater Middle and 1,227 for Hamlin Middle. I'll give everyone a moment to review these numbers. I will now turn the remainder of this advertised targeted rezoning over to Stacy Neal. Stacy.
Madam Chair, please allow me a few minutes to provide additional information for this targeted rezoning to benefit the viewing public. Targeted rezonings are in place to move small portions of students to either align school zones or alleviate overcrowding at one school while helping a school whose enrollment numbers are declining. Rezoning may not always be pleasant, especially if you are rezoned, but it is necessary. The Office of Student Enrollment notifies all families residing in the targeted area. We do this via Connect Orange, emails, and posted notices in the newspaper. Additional notifications are posted at all potentially impacted schools and their web pages. Student enrollment seeks community input on the proposed rezoning. Survey links to gather feedback from families are shared on the student enrollment website. Those same parents who were initially notified of the rezoning are offered the opportunity to provide input on whether they oppose or support any of the options presented. The parents are also given the opportunity to provide their ideas or any opinions they care to share. This opportunity is afforded to all involved. As a practice, we do not exclude parents who have students at the receiving schools. The Office of Student Enrollment reviews all of the input provided by community members. With geocoding, we can determine the address of any response. That said, we have received input for this rezoning from community members, family, and friends who do not reside in the affected area. This input has been provided separately for your consideration. We also discovered a few submissions that did not include a legitimate address. A few households submitted duplicates. Input from non-legitimate addresses, as well as duplicates, are excluded. Student enrollment has had the same process of rezoning for years. This process is necessary for student enrollment, the superintendent, the school board members to make informed decisions. Once again, input is welcomed, but facts and data are imperative to rezoning. Please allow me to clarify a comment made at the Rule Development Workshop regarding transportation. A community member mentioned that there was a 40-minute bus ride to Independence and a 40-minute return ride for students, and those students had to wake up earlier than other students to arrive at a school 3 miles from their homes. The community member also mentioned concern regarding the lack of bus drivers. The community member suggested that this rezoning would eliminate a bus, therefore helping with the bus driver's shortage. If you look at the screen, we have included information from our transportation department regarding the route and trip number for the bus that picks up from Overlook at Hamlin. You will see this is this trip's first stop in the morning, and 5 students are picked up at this stop. Based on the GPS that all OCPS buses are equipped, we can verify the bus picks up at Hamlin at 7:56 a.m. The bus continues the route, picking up 43 additional students at 3 stops. The bus arrives at Independence Elementary around 8:15 a.m. The afternoon route shows the bus leaving the school at 3:35 p.m. with 49 students. The bus arrives at Hamlin at 3:51 p.m. The speaker at the Rural Development Workshop may have been referring to the trip times at the beginning of the school year. Transportation Department reports busing concerns for this area have stabilized. For the viewing public, if this rezoning is approved, we would not eliminate a bus. The 43 other students in the surrounding area not impacted by the rezoning will still be provided transportation. The 5 elementary students in the targeted area would no longer receive transportation services. They will need to find transportation to Independence if they choose to grandfather or walk to Summer Lake. Let's now focus on the middle school portion of this targeted rezoning. If approved, the students within walking distance to their current school would now be provided a bus, as they are more than 2 miles from Hamlin Middle School. As a result, we will create the need for a bus and a new route. And finally, we look at future growth in the area. If approved, this targeted rezoning will take approximately 115 students from Independence Elementary School and place them in Summer Lake. Although there may not be immediate concerns, we must point out Site 102E4W. I'll call to your attention to the map. You can see that Site 102 could provide relief to Independence Elementary School. It may not give relief to Summer Lake. Madam Chair, thank you for allowing me to provide this information to clarify a few points for the viewing public. Now, I'll present the results of the community input. We have 149 who's in support of the rezoning and the elementary school portion, and there were 85 opposing. I'm sorry, 83 opposing. And then for the middle school option, 152 support and 80 opposing. Dr. Vasquez, this concludes our presentation of 3.02 targeted rezoning for Overlook at Hamlin and the Sanctuary.
Thank you, Stacy and Amy. Madam Vice Chair, that concludes our presentation. I believe that you have speakers for this item.
Thank you, Dr. Vasquez. Yes, I believe we have 15 speakers who would like to speak to this targeted rezoning. For each in-person speaker, will you please state your name and your zip code? You will have up to 3 minutes to speak on this topic. Mrs. Inval, will you call the speakers?
Yes, your first in-person speaker is Christina Belgram, followed by Janet Allen.
Welcome.
Hello. My name's Christina Belgram, and I'm in zip code 34787.
Thank you.
I have two sons who attend Independence Elementary and a rising kindergartner who's already toured Independence and has been looking forward to going to school with his brothers. Luckily for us, she removed the Cove option because he would have been rezoned to go to Summer Lake, while my other two sons could have been grandfathered in to Independence. How many other siblings could possibly split up during this and parents don't even know about it? There's going to be a lot of other school students showing up for Meet the Teacher at the wrong school and possibly the first day because there hasn't been enough information going out to some of the communities. There's been no literature sent home. I've had one Connect Ed, one email. And as a member of the Cove, because we were taken out, we did not have any information on tonight's meeting. So how are people able to advocate if they're not able to do it? Families aren't looking for rezoning information. Hamlin Middle School opened this year and just had a rezone complete. Why are you looking at doing a rezone after only 1 year? Summer Lake went through a rezone last year when Panther Lake opened, and they finally got their numbers to right about at capacity. Now you want to send an extra 115 students over there so they can be back over capacity, and it'll end up putting Independence under. Before Summer Lake opened, and Pam came out and spoke with families of the 4 impacted neighborhoods. We did it because we all assumed we were all going to Summer Lake. And at the time, we were told there was too many students. They would be severely sent over Summer Lake, and Independence would be underfunded. We asked if part of the neighborhoods could be taken, and we were told no, it was all or nothing. Please keep our neighborhoods together and do not split them up. You just rezone the last part of Independence neighborhood to Independence instead of letting them stay at Keynes Crossing so the neighborhood could all be together. Like Nona, you're looking at trying to keep the neighborhoods together, but you're splitting ours up. The Cove and Overlook has already attended 2 different sets of elementary school. You finally got us rezoned together so we could all be together again. There's already an us versus them mentality in the neighborhood, and this will only drive a wedge into the community. Communities are built in a variety of ways, and the Cove and Overlook is one community and neighborhood with one HOA, clubhouse, pools, and events that everyone can attend. Beyond that, we're a community of neighbors and friends who look after each other's kids. Parents carpool to and from school. It's the neighbors that are looking after each other's kids when a parent at dismissal's caught in traffic, or if they got it's an early Wednesday. We have all formed our own communities and rely on them for support, and this rezone would break up the community and neighbors and disrupt all the friendships our students and parents have worked so hard to build. Please don't do this rezone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight.
Your next in-person speaker is Janet Allen, followed by John Allen.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Janet Allen, and my zip code is 34787. I'm a resident of the Cove, which is part of the single community of the Overlook and Cove. We have a third grader at Independence, and we have a rising kindergartner. As you all know, our current generation of students is unique in what they have had to endure. I'm asking that you consider this prior to casting your vote for a rezone. The COVID-19 pandemic uprooted our children's world. For our generation of children, the pandemic disrupted and isolated them during a critical time in their physical, social, academic, and emotional development. Our current third graders missed most of first grade. The loss of in-person instruction caused significant learning deficits. Research shows that if our children haven't learned to read and comprehend by third grade, they are less likely to graduate high school. Disruptions in routines, the pressure to catch up and to keep up, the disconnect from no live interaction with their peers and family members, some have even lost family members and friends, has created unprecedented instability. Our children have a higher rate of anxiety and depression that may have lifelong mental health implications. It's incumbent on all of us to consider the whole child and make sure our children are equipped for a successful educational journey. This means first helping their world feel stable, meaning predictable routines, academic and social continuity. The upheaval of a rezone at this time would expose our children to more instability and be paradoxical to our goal. Definitely not in the best interest of our kids. Rezoning half our community's children will be divisive and isolate them further from many of their neighborhood friends. For the children who are not rezoned in our community, they will be separated not only from their neighborhood peers, but also many from their schoolmates, because when moving up from Bridgewater to the high school, they will be left as an even smaller minority going to the high school from that Bridgewater High School. Hamlin's population is still expanding. It means there's probably a likelihood of a future rezone that would again uproot our children's lives, disrupt routines and social connections, and the continuity for the academic success. We are not opposed to a future rezoning if deemed necessary, but it is not helpful or wise to do it now. If a future rezone must occur, our children should be rezoned together as a larger group, keeping our community unified and making the transition easier for all of our kids. All this begs the question, why are we pushing a rezone now? And are there benefits to waiting? Waiting will give infrastructure the opportunity to catch up.
Thank you. I'm so sorry your time is up.
Boo. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here this evening.
Your next in-person speaker is John Allen, followed by Amanda Covert.
Welcome.
Welcome, school board members. Thank you for welcoming me, and good evening to you all. My name's John Allen, and the zip code is 34787. I wanted to follow up something that my wife talked about, was the expanding of Hamlin in Horizon West. As you probably know, it's one of the fastest growing areas in the state. If you blink, you might miss another development being built. So what I did was, to get some numbers to that growth that's occurring, I contacted Nicholas Thalmuller, who's the planning administrator for Orange County, and asked him, what is the development potential and the planned development in Hamlin? So he provided me those numbers. Basically, it's 2,295 residential units and 2.6 million square feet of non-residential, which is office, retail, things like that. I'll spare you the math, but I crunched some numbers here using a lot of demographic information that I found. And that 2,295 residential units will translate to 447 additional elementary school students. The middle school students will be comparable as well. So if you take that 447 and you look at the populations of Independence and Summer Lake, it's about a 25% increase to those two school populations combined. That's significant. And these developments here will be occurring in about 2 years. So you're talking about another major rezone. And again, why do this now when you're going to have to rezone again in a couple of years with these new students coming online. That's the first thing. The second thing is the elephant in the classroom, which is House Bill 1, otherwise known as the school voucher program. We know that that's coming. The effective date for that is July 1st. Who knows what the effects will be? It's the great unknown, right? Could be minimal to our area. It could turn the public school system on its ear. Totally unknown at this time. I say let's wait and see what happens, how that plays out. Let's take our fingers and put it on the pulse of development in the area, and then really thoughtfully decide what to do. There's too many moving parts right now. There's too many unknowns. Let's just wait and do the right thing. Be smart, be prudent. You know, as my wife said, we're not against a rezone. We're just against a rezone at this time. We think it's smarter to wait, let these other things play out, and then take another close look. So I thank you for my time. I have 20 seconds left. I want to give a quick shout out to my granddaughter's third grade teacher in Independence, Mrs. Benedict. She's awesome. She's engaged. She loves the kids. She is fun. She's funny. She communicates well with the parents. You can't beat Mrs. Benedict. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
Terrific teacher.
Your next in-person speaker is Amanda Covert, followed by Michael Bafuto.
Welcome.
Hi. Good evening.
You can push it down.
Yeah. My name is Amanda Covert, and I live in 34787. I'm a resident of Overlook and the very first speaker tonight with children that are actually a part of this rezone. I have 3 children, and this will be my family's 6th year at Independence, 5th year at Bridgewater, and 2nd year at Horizon High. I chose to speak tonight to clear up some false information that's been shared. Let's start off with enrollment numbers. In 5 years, Independence Elementary is projected to be at 945 students. Their capacity is 786. On the contrary, Summer Lake Elementary is projected to be at 747. Their capacity is 751. This means Independence will be over capacity by 159, while Summer Lake will remain under capacity. This rezone would help move less than 115 students from Independence to Summer Lake, as some will be grandfathered, some are homeschooled, and help to balance the school's enrollment and traffic. In 5 years, Bridgewater Middle is projected to be at 1,164 students. Their capacity is 1,028. On the contrary, Hamlin Middle is projected to be at 1,232. Their capacity is 1,227. This means Bridgewater will be over capacity by 136, while Hamlin will be over capacity by only 5. This rezone would move less than 75 students from Bridgewater to Hamlin, as some would be grandfathered and homeschooled. Why would we not want to eliminate elementary busing from both Overlook and Sanctuary? This rezone would do that and eliminate the time it takes for our children to ride a bus each morning and afternoon to Independence. A 5-minute Summer Lake commute would allow more time for sleep and after-school activities. Removing our bus routes would also help to eliminate unnecessary strain on the county's resources. As it stands now, our buses are packed. They're packed with 3 students per seat and have unreliable routes due to the shortage of drivers, and there are 3 per seat. For Sanctuary walkers, there's a very safe walking path on their side of the road with no intersections or traffic entrances. The path is safely positioned away from the road and extends down Summer Lake Parkway from their neighborhood entrance to the 4-way stop at the Summer Lake Groves intersection, where there's currently a crosswalk and staffed crossing guard. We do have video evidence of this available to anyone concerned about safety. Also, busing is available to both Hamlin Middle, to both Sanctuary and Overlook. This rezone will correct our neighborhood's educational feeding pattern, allowing our children to stay with their community of students from kindergarten through 12th grade. This means the majority of students will move on together from Summer Lake to Hamlin and then high school, which their community of kids. I must also address the 2 community surveys and our own district representative making it very clear they were open to anyone, even mentioning Apopka. I have one question for Ms. Gold. Why did you want Apopka voting on our rezone? At the end of the day, for those it affects, this rezone logistically makes sense when it comes to district resources, enrollment numbers, and safety. When I'm dealt with an important choice to make, I always consider the pros and the cons. When making your decision, I encourage you to do the same. I have yet to come across a valid reason why this rezone shouldn't take place.
You're out of time.
Thank you for your time.
so much.
Your next in-person speaker is Michael Bafuto, followed by Valley I'm not going to get this right, I'm sorry. Mukavili?
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Michael Bafuto. Zip code is 34787. Thank you guys for giving me an opportunity to speak. I thought when I was thinking about what I would say here that I'd have to make a really compelling case that sort of flew in the face of objective data. And the survey responses that were just presented showed 56% of all responders, 65% of all responders supporting the rezones, 56% of those within all involved districts or school zones supporting it, and 77% of Overlook and Sanctuary responders supporting the rezone. What I'd like to comment on is the issue of the single community between Overlook and Cove. We have, a single association, one pool. We have a few events every year that are community events. But we also can't get a quorum to vote in board members in our community. The HOA recently removed the position of a social committee from our HOA. So, as much as the community is managed by a single HOA, and we have a landscaper who cuts the grass in all of our common areas, we're as much part of the Summer Lake or Sanctuary communities as we are Cove. I don't know how many of you have driven through Hamlin or Horizon West, but we don't have gates. So there's nothing preventing somebody from riding a bike to Summer Lake, to Sanctuary, to any other community to play in a playground or to play with another friend. The other thing I would ask you to consider is really the options that are in front of you. The one option keeps the zoning as is and sends a group of 115 approximately elementary students onto a bus every morning to a school that's much further away than the school that's essentially within their neighborhood, and sends a group of middle school kids to a middle school where once they finish graduation, 80% of their classmates will end up zoned for a different high school. The option on the table with the rezone allows those same elementary school students to walk to school and gives those middle school students an opportunity to progress on with their classmates to high school. And that's all I have to say, and I'll yield my 20 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Your next in-person speaker is Valley Mukavili, followed by Bethany Moffitt, and then Summer Moffitt.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Valley Mukavili, and I'm from the Overlook community from 34787. So I have an 8-year-old that currently attends Independence Elementary and a rising kindergartner. Both my husband and I work full-time and therefore have to rely on the bus transportation to take my son to and from school. Our experience with the buses this year has been very underwhelming. During the 2022-23 school year, the bus drivers have changed multiple times, at least 3 times, and we were not even communicated as parents that the changes were happening, the times were changing. One time we were out at the bus stop and I was looking around, nobody else was there, some other parent come through, and then we realized the bus timing has moved to an earlier time. And sometimes the bus drivers tell my kid, who does not tell me back. He's not going to be the one telling me what's happening in the school unless I poke directed questions at him. So most importantly, I appreciate, Stacy, you showed that the bus arrives at 7:55 when my kid is in that 7:55 bus. And yes, the bus takes the transportation to the school by 8:15. However, the bell doesn't ring until 8:40. So they are still spending an enormous amount of time just in waiting and in transit. I think we should consider that, not just the time when the bus arrives at the school. The other thing is when he's coming back from the school, again, it's the same deal. The bell rings at 3 o'clock, but he's sometimes not home until 4 o'clock. And my son does karate and piano 4 days a week, and every evening I have to go through tears of saying, I don't want to do this, I'm exhausted. Additionally, he gets to eat lunch at 10:30 in the morning. And then by the time he comes home at 4 o'clock, he's starving because there's no snack time given in third grades. So Summer Lake Elementary is 5 minutes bike ride from my house. By approving this rezoning, most of our kids from Overlook will end up walking to the school, which will not add any additional stress to the ones commuting. Busing situation is a genuine problem, and we can solve this by letting the kids who live closer to an elementary school to focus their time and energy on learning rather than dealing with long commutes and wait times. There is also opposition to this rezoning because Overlook and Cove, who are under the same HOA, are now going to be split. While I understand this is unfortunate, the reality of the situation is my son spends 8 hours a day with his classmates who are not necessarily from only Cove. Meanwhile, we may get to see our neighbors from Cove in 2 to 3 major community events over the course of a year. To allow kids to have a healthy lifestyle by coming home at a reasonable time and be able to take advantage of the extracurricular activities without being exhausted, I humbly request you to approve this rezoning because it is the right thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you for being here this evening.
Your next in-person speaker is Bethany Moffett, followed by Summer Moffett.
Welcome, Ms. Moffett.
Good afternoon. My name is Bethany Moffett. My zip code is 34787. I am a junior and a proud student of Horizon High School. I wanted to speak today as I have seen my mom advocate for us for the past 9 months as her children, and also the welfare of our community children. I am so proud to be able to be here today and advocate in the same way. I wanted to give you an actual insight as a child who gets the bus. The last meeting I watched the points that were raised by other parents about the bus on YouTube, and felt it was necessary to come and speak as a child who actually gets the bus and can speak firsthand about what we endure. Every morning I get the bus that picks me up 50 minutes prior to school. After a 30-minute journey, as we have to make 3 stops, I am then at school waiting around for it to start. This repeats itself after school, but it usually takes 20 minutes more. So an hour and 10 minutes, making my school day 9 hours. It is exhausting, and if there was an option not to take the bus, I would. We have to sit 3 to a row and sometimes even in the aisles due to too many of us being on the bus. It is a huge safety issue and scary, especially going around corners, and I've ended up with huge teenage boys on top of me. My brother has an opportunity to eliminate that 40 to 50 minute each way to their day and this rezone. Having personally experienced every day of this, I ask you to put yourself in our shoes as a child, especially these younger students. Please consider this rezone for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. That was a good job. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Summer Moffett, and I'm zip code 34787. I'm a freshman at Horizon High School. I wanted to come and speak today so you could hear how last year I was personally affected as a rising freshman from middle school, being zoned outside of the school pyramid. I attended Bridgewater Middle School and had many friends. When it came to rising as a freshman for high school, all of my friends went to Windermere, and I was the only one from my friendship group that went to Horizon High School. It was already a daunting experience going to high school, but to go without any friends was terrifying. I spent my first few months alone and sad. I felt I had no one to turn to. It was a very different experience to my old friendship group, as they posted their photos on social media at their new school, all together and happy. They posted about new boys, they posted about joining clubs together, and yet here I was, on my own, out of my friendship group for no other reason than because of where I was zoned due to where we live on the Overlook. Had I been able to move up with my friends, then it would have been a different story, especially for what I went through with my mental health. I think of my younger brothers starting kindergarten, to think they will go through the elementary, then middle school with their friends, then may get separated from most to a different high school. It fills me with fear. I suffered severely with my mental health, and if it means me speaking today at a chance of my brothers and any other kid avoiding this, then me standing here once again, reliving that experience is not a waste. And now I feel something good has finally come out of that experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Well done.
Your next in-person speaker is Valeria Restrepo, followed by Eloise Moffett.
Welcome.
Sorry, super short.
Good afternoon. My name is Valeria Restrepo, and I have a first grader at Summer Lake and a rising kindergartner. First, I want to thank you guys for your time through this process, as it's been long, and for being here today. I wanted to start by asking all of you to please vote for this rezoning based on what is best for the well-being of our kids, instead of voting for what is best for the other communities in the county or political agendas. Second, I want to speak about why this rezoning is necessary and why it significantly impacts the lives and future of our kids. Most importantly is the fact that our kids will have a better quality of life, since they'll be able to sleep longer in the morning and get back earlier from school, allowing for improved school performance and more time for homework and extracurricular activities. I also want to address the traffic concern, as my son goes to Summer Lake Elementary. And last week, on a rainy day, I took him to school in the morning in the car, and it took me 5 minutes from the time I left my house to the time my son was inside the school doors. It took me less than 3 minutes to go through the car line, and there was no traffic in the roads leading to the school. The fact that this was a day with heavier traffic than normal because it was raining and parents who usually walk their kids to school drove instead just proves that there should be no traffic concerns for this rezone. My neighbors in Overlook, whose kid attends Independence, drives their kids, and it takes them 30 minutes on a sunny day to drive their kids to the car line. Another point on this is that most of the kids who will be rezoned will either walk or bike to school. And we also have to consider that not all of the kids in our community will be attending the school, as we have a very high population of private school kids, and kids who already attend Summer Lake, like myself and another family here today. I also wanted to talk on the school population and the fact that not only will Summer Lake be under capacity in 5 years, and this rezone will help to balance that out, but Summer Lake currently has empty portables and classrooms that are being used only by faculty, like their guidance counselor. If in the future portables are needed for the students, I feel they are not something that we should be concerned about, as it does not impact the quality of education our kids will receive. So again, I ask for you all to please vote on this rezoning while wearing your best mom hats and place our children's best interest first. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Your next in-person speaker is Eloise Moffett, followed by Carolyn Staples.
Thank you. I'm going to try my best to get through this. As you can tell, I was a little bit emotional from hearing my girls speaking, and I'm not normally emotional, so that caught me off guard. But this is my third time speaking and fifth meeting I have attended, every single meeting. For 9 months of advocating for our community of those families who want and desperately need this rezone. It has been an experience personally for me and that of our community. I've learned a lot and realised the passion that erupts from every parent when it affects their child is immense, but one I am proud to be part of. It means despite our differences, I live in a community who would climb mountains for their children. I cannot ask for more than that. I've made lifelong friends from people reaching out who are in support of this rezone, and that I will be thankful for. My kids are very lucky too. I decided to be one of the last ones to speak, as you have heard me speak on many occasions, and I absolutely agree with my community members that are speaking here today who support this rezone for the same reasons as myself. Today I've seen the recent results from our survey, and I stand here today on behalf of all those 58 families, a staggering 72% of the two communities it actually affects day to day, who voted, who are in favour for the very last time to advocate for them. They have spoken twice now, and twice those in favour were way more than those opposed. You wanted input, our community has spoken, 72% in favour. I wish my reasons for this rezone was pride or because I'm scared that my child won't go to the same school as the kids at the Cove. I would feel less anxiety about this for sure. My personal reasons are simple but valid, life-impacting reasons. The most important is ease to get to my twins. I've been trolled online by opposers that I just didn't want to put my twins on a bus. Correct. And I have yet to publicly reveal why, besides the public mess that have been spoken about and that you will hear from actual students today, which you just have. I shouldn't have to share this, but it is time. Both twins have been diagnosed with asthma, age 4, and who still cannot understand that of an asthma attack. Being a one-car family, in the day, I can easily get to my twins at Summer Lake should something arise. Sometimes it may be me running up to the school with their neb machine and sitting with them, holding their hand with the mask over their face. The bus in mind, I will not put my kids on a bus unnecessarily, especially 45 minutes prior to school. And I speak of timing, not for the duration it takes to get to the school. And this is verified information from Overlook parents, and we do have photographic evidence of this. I want my kids to go to high school with their friends so I can avoid more mental health issues of my younger children in years to come, of that we endured with my daughter last year. Therefore, this change needs to happen now so we can line our correct schooling pyramid, which is better in the long run for all children present and future. The Cove are opposing for the reason that their kids have friends in the Overlook. I can say the same for my kids with Summer Lake children who they have attended preschool with the last 2 years, who are on the next street and not separated by a lake like the Cove. If we are a close-knit community, it is claimed that shouldn't change regardless of school. However, those Overlook children who are desperate to stay with their friends at the Cove can stay grandfathered in, and that will not change. We do not have that option. For the amount of inputs from the Cove that were opposed, the in support of the Overlook alone and the addition of the Cove numbers, if we wish to combine all, still supersedes those that are opposed. I have fought this for 9 months and I feel so very strongly about this. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Your next in-person speaker is Carolyn Staples, followed by Laura Clark.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Carolyn Staples, and I live in Overlook, Hamlin, zip code 34787. Today, I wanted to bring awareness to some important things you should consider while making your decision. First, this is what's best for the children who live in Overlook at Hamlin. It will help the children be able to sleep longer as they will be within walking distance to the school. Unfortunately, that has been said that we're closer to Independence if we went through the lake. But we all know this is not realistic unless Orange County wants to charter a boat across the lake and send the kids across that way. Second, this is what's best for the county and the children. It will balance out enrollment numbers between schools. Summer Lake Elementary capacity is 751. For the current school year, they are 3 under. Next year, they'll be 16 over. In 5 years, they'll be 3 under. In 10 years, they're projected to be 12 under. In Independence Elementary, capacity is 786. For the current year, they are 62 over. Next year, they'll be 99 over. In 5 years, there'll be 176 kids over. In 10 years, there'll be 215 kids over. Bridgewater Middle capacity is 1,028. For the current year, they are 182 over. Next year, they'll be 179 over. In 5 years, they'll be 94 over, and in 10 years, they'll be at 195 kids over. Hamlin Middle capacity is 1,227. For the current year, they are 505 under. Next year, they'll be 362 under. In 5 years, they'll be 10 over. And in 10 years, they'll be 45 over. Using the enrollment data numbers, you can see just a big difference in enrollment between the schools. By approving this rezone, it would balance out the enrollment numbers for the future. This would be best for the children in the community and the county because mental health is a huge issue for this generation. The county, and for past, because this happened to me. The county is currently spending a lot of money and resources to address this. The county would be able to address this in our area by rezoning our kids to follow the correct flow and have our kids remain with their friends from kinder to 12th grade. As being someone who went through this, just like Summer, it sucks to lose all your friends. She might not have said it like that, but it really sucks, and it's not easy when you're the one sitting under the stairs eating by yourself for months until you make friends again and people want to be friends with you when they already have their own group of friends. So made me very emotional when she was saying that. Safety has been brought up and resources with regard to Summer Lake. My son went to Summer Lake last year when they were 259 kids over. My son got all the resources he needed, including the IEP and getting the resources he needed for that. I know I'm getting over to my time. So when making this decision, please think of not only the county, but what's best for our kids, the kids whose future you are impacting, the kids who could get more sleep for development and can remain with the same group of friends during crucial years, which will help diminish mental health issues. Please listen to the parents who live in Overlook at Hamlin.
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Your next in-person speaker is Laura Clark, followed by Jory Vanderhort.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Laura Clark, and I live in the Overlook community, 34787.
First, I appreciate you being here tonight and thank you for all the hard work you do for all the children in Orange County. I am here as a parent in favor of the proposed school rezone, and I would like to address some concerns raised by the opposing while sharing my reasons for supporting this change. There are emotional and short-term reasons why people are against the rezoning, and they are failing to see the long-term benefits for our children and community. I understand the concerns about keeping the two communities, Overlook and the Cove, who share an HOA together at the same school. However, it is important to note that our communities essentially operate separately. We have two separate neighborhood Facebook groups, and we in Overlook cannot access the Cove from within our community like we can with Summer Lake. The Cove and the Overlook are only connected through a main road, and the entrances are 0.4 miles from each other. My son has friends in Overlook and in the Summer Lake community, but not in the Cove because we don't have access to that community easily. Therefore, the argument of keeping them together based on a shared HOA is less significant when considering the broader benefits of the rezone of our neighborhood. I also acknowledge the concern about safety of children crossing the street. However, it is essential to recognize there's a safe walking path and crossing guard station down the road at Summer Lake Park Boulevard and Summer Lake Grove Street. The well-being of our children is our top priority, and we would never support a rezone that would put their safety at risk. Regarding the overcrowding of the school, when the numbers were looked at during the workshop, it was shown that Independence is forecasted to become even more overcrowded, while Summer Lake would hover around the same number even with the addition of our children. By redistributing the student population more evenly, we are addressing overcrowding concerns and working towards a more sustainable and effective learning environment. As for my personal reasons for supporting the rezone, Summer Lake is 0.3 miles from my house, less than a 10-minute walk, while Independence is 3.1 miles away. This rezone will allow my child to attend a school closer to home with the friends he has made in preschool and in the Summer Lake community who are zoned for the school in his backyard. The rezone will make it more convenient not only for my family, but also the families in our community and reduce transportation time. The current school funnel only puts students in the same high school as 29% of their middle school classmates. The rezone can address this, allowing our children to maintain stronger connections with their peers as they progress through their education. In conclusion, the proposed school rezone offers numerous benefits, including a closer school for many families, improved connections among classmates, and an even distribution of student numbers. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you for being here this evening.
Your next in-person speaker is Joy Vanderhort, followed by Danielle Taliaferro.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Good evening. My name is Jory Vandervoort, and let me just start out by saying that I'm not against a rezone, but I am against this targeted rezone. I do live in the Overlook community, and I have two daughters that have gone through Independence Elementary. One's in middle school now at Bridgewater, and the other one is a 9th grader at Horizon High School. So I can't really find the reasons where this rezone serves the greater good, and really that's what we're looking at when we're trying to do these rezones, is how it affects the community as a whole and not just individual students. If we talk about the feeder patterns that everyone keeps bringing up, if fixing the feeder patterns is really a goal, then it has to solve the problem for all the students at the schools in question. All this targeted rezone does is shift. It really helps out the Overlook and Sanctuary kids, but it adversely affects those that remain at Independence and Bridgewater and still go on to Horizon High School. And there are plenty of kids in the Cove, Independence, and Hamlin Reserve that fall into this category. The enrollment data that I found on your website that was dated March 28th does not support the elementary change. Basically, it just shows you shifting 115 students from one school to the other and overcrowding Summer Lake. The middle school data does leave both middle schools on a long-term basis overcrowded a bit. But even if we're going to use data that supports a rezone, shouldn't we be considering, we're talking about mental health, shouldn't we be considering the middle schoolers' mental health? We like to throw around the idea that we're helping our kids' mental health, but a surprise rezone is not supportive to a middle schooler's mental health. Me personally, this came as a complete surprise to me. A neighbor asked in July about going to the board for Summer Lake Elementary, and there was no mention of middle school rezone. The next thing I know, it's February, and there's a public meeting to discuss rezoning the middle schools. The kids are in their third quarter of school. They've met with Bridgewater counselors, they've picked Bridgewater classes, and they've even enrolled in some of the summer math classes as they're already planning their high school curriculum. Those kids have not been given adequate time to prepare mentally for a rezone. How did the middle schoolers become a casualty in this discussion? You didn't even talk about them at the last workshop. Everything was centered around elementary schools. How is this actually good for their mental health? And finally, safety. Yes, there is a sidewalk for elementary school kids from Sanctuary to Summer Lake Elementary, and the risk associated is far reduced, but it's not eliminated. And dangerous road conditions on Hamlin Groves Trail, Porter Road, and Avalon remain for the middle schoolers going to Hamlin. We keep talking about everything that's elementary related, but we do have middle schoolers. There's 75 middle schoolers that are going to be affected by this. Eventually, the buses will not be available to them, and many are less than 2 miles. And so under your rules, anybody that lives less than 2 miles doesn't get a bus. So how are they going to get to Hamlin Middle School safely from Overlook? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here this evening.
Your next in-person speaker is Danielle Taliaferro, followed by Mary Lynn Levine, who will be our last speaker.
Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for being here. My name is Danielle Taliaferro. You were very close. Taliaferro gets botched a lot. I live in Overlook. Most of the arguments regarding moving forward with this rezone center on what the parents want. I am urging you to consider what is centered around our students. I currently have 2 daughters who attend Bridgewater Middle School, and both of them wish to continue being zoned there. Rezoning our students at this time would be doing a disservice to the students who are actually impacted. Kindergarten roundup has already happened at both Independence and Summer Lake Elementary. These students have had their uncertainty and fear about going to a big kids school eased by having the opportunity to tour their new school, and they have already been able to see the kindergarten classrooms. Similarly, incoming 6th graders have gone through Bridgewater and Hamlin 101 already. They've met their counselors, they've selected electives, they've had the chance to buy spiritware and tour the campus so that they are more familiar with their schools for next year. If the rezone is approved at this time, it is inevitable that students will show up at the wrong school for Meet the Teacher and the first day of school. They just registered last month. Additionally, Bridgewater has also put into place 2 new curriculum paths for their rising 7th and 8th grade students. These paths relate to the new FAST math standards, as well as the Cambridge program that they are starting next year. Bridgewater already has identified students and teachers for these programs next year, and these paths are different than what is being offered at Hamlin Middle School. Rezoning our middle school students at this time will have a negative impact on the start of the year for these students. It is true that approximately 25% of the students who attend Independence and Bridgewater will go on to Horizon High, while the majority of students will go on to Windermere High. However, this targeted rezone does not fix this feeder pattern issue. It simply exacerbates the problem for the students who will remain in this situation. The problem is not exclusive to Bridgewater either. As of this morning, 20% of the 8th grade class at Hamlin Middle School will actually go on to West Orange High, not Windermere High. The truth is that Horizon West is too big. It is developing too quickly to fully address this issue through a targeted rezone. If the feeder pattern is truly the issue that we want to fix, then it needs to be addressed from the ground up with all of the impacted neighborhoods and schools in mind. Rezoning these students at this time is not a student-centered decision. Middle school is such a small window of time during some of the most critical years of a student's life. Just last week, my 7th grader reminded me that this is her first normal school year since 3rd grade. Rezoning our middle schoolers now would be a detriment to their overall mental health. Yes, grandfathered transfers are available for families who wish to stay, but are also able to provide transportation. There are also transfers available to families who are in favor of the rezone. Psychological, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here.
Your next in-person speaker is Mary Lynn Levine, and then we had that additional speaker, and I do not know the identity of that person. So,
do we have a card for that speaker?
We will have him fill out a card after he's done speaking.
Perfect. Thank you and welcome.
Hi, my name is Mary Lynn Levine. I live in 34787 in Overlook at Hamlin.
My daughter is in second grade at Independence Elementary. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. My biggest concern with this targeted rezone is that we're breaking up this neighborhood, Overlook at Hamlin and the Cove at Overlook. It is a two-sided neighborhood, as you've heard, that shares a clubhouse and a pool and an HOA and family events and holiday events. And the families that are within these communities, at least for us, are a large part of each other's lives. And childcare. Anecdotally, we share a carpool and we support each other for after-school activities, picking each other's children up and transporting them. So I'm saddened at the prospect of separating these two neighborhoods and all of the families. This would mean, being at the pool with neighbors that you no longer go to school with, or you meet new families at a neighborhood playground or a holiday event, but the kids don't even go to school together. Secondly, as obviously you've heard, Horizon West has a lot of moving pieces with a number of new developments. My family is certainly not opposed to a necessary rezone. All the schools in the area are wonderful schools. We bought our home in a rapidly developing area, and so change is certain to be expected. We welcome a rezone that aligns the educational feeder schools to high school, but what I would prefer is that we take a beat and see how the building and the growth materializes, and we make a decision regarding a rezone that allows our entire neighborhood to stay together, and that the rezoning for our area, which is certain to happen, would only happen one time. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Your last in-person speaker is Jason Tafaro.
You got it. Thank you. Jason Tafaro, area zip code 34787. So I do oppose the proposed move. As a parent at Summer Lake Elementary, my daughter, and if you're not familiar, that area has been rezoned several times. I know there's a grandfathered law. I live in Summer Lake Groves neighborhood. The children have been moved from originally Independence to Water Springs to Summer Lake, and some then now Panther Lake. So this is kind of a concern, right? I think we're kind of kicking the can down the road. I think we're moving capacity from Independence over to Summer Lake, and you're going to see a similar issue there by next year. I think we're probably due to, like I said, I'm not against a rezone at some point. I think everywhere in the area it's growing really fast. I think what we're missing, though, is Independence is an established area. There's really no more new construction happening in that area, whereas the Summer Lake area, actually, as we speak, there's 96 new homes being built that will funnel into Summer Lake Elementary within the next several months. I'm not sure if that goes into its projection numbers, but when I did look at the numbers that you put up as far as the survey went, it seemed like most of the votes were people that were outside of the affected areas, and the people inside the affected areas, speaking Summer Lake specifically, was pretty 50-50. And again, I think that has to go into the mental health of the children and the well-being and the social part of it. These rezoning, I think we're kind of using them as pawns on a chessboard and looking at numbers and not really looking at the long-term effect here. Again, it's really a capacity issue. You're just moving it from Independence to Summer Lake. I get the convenience of being able to walk as opposed to taking a bus. But again, I think really at the end of the day, we like Summer Lake kind of the way it is with the capacity is. We know it's going to change. We know that the area is growing. I think we're kind of jumping the gun a little bit to make this rezone happen, to make it convenient for folks that are right on that area. I get that that's an issue. But again, it really comes down to the capacity issue. Really at Independence is going to have the same issue at Summer Lake. The area is growing, and I think we're just seeing a rezone too soon. So I'll give back a minute at a time, and I appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. All right, Member Gould.
Okay. First, there's one point of clarification that I want to make. But before I do that, I want to thank everybody who's here tonight, who's written in, who's called, text, talked, met with me. I always am proud of our community. I'm especially proud of the two young ladies that came tonight. And Bethany, you were as eloquent tonight as you had been in the past. And Summer, you did a great job. We love our community. There's no question about that. Before I go into where my position is on this and hear thoughts from the board, I do believe anybody can comment on anything. The other part of that sentence, when I said it, was we will be able to tell from a map who lives in the Horizon West / Cove / Sanctuary / Overlook community, so that we could see who is affected in the schools that are affected, in the neighborhoods that are affected. I think that's part of being in a republic and a democracy. I have a lot of opinions, even about things that happen in California. But, I'm not sure that the people judging things, even if I give my opinion out there, weigh it in. I always have to begin with the end in mind. Having been through some really difficult rezonings and re-rezonings, and there's two communities in particular that have had a lot of whiplash in the Horizon West footprint. One is Sunset Park and the other is Keenes Crossing. And Independence and Summer Lake are kind of catching up. But we've had to rezone those families a lot, and I've seen the long-term effects of that. I'm very concerned. I ride out there all the time. I meet with people out there. I have friends who live in Horizon West. I live a mile and a half from the entrance to one of the Horizon West communities. The roadways are not in a condition, especially for the middle school yet. There are plans with the county and the state, but they're not there. I just pulled up the trails map. Those trails will connect in the future. So when I'm looking at any kind of rezoning and a recommendation to this board, I have to not only be thinking about the right now, but tomorrow, a year from now, and 5 years from now. Because experience has told me that maybe we moved some kids too early in the past or didn't quite make the right move for them to eliminate the chess game. So that has a huge weight on my mind and on my heart when I make these decisions and recommendations, because it is about the kids at the end of the day, all of the kids, not just one neighborhood's kids. And I know that Stacy and her team do everything possible when we have capacity to put families where they want to be. That I am in favor of as much school choice as we can give. As I said, the roadways are a consideration. I am worried that we pulled the trigger too soon on this with just what was on the county's agenda last week with Sutton Place, with the construction of what's going to be happening on 545, with the light that's not going to come in. They are putting up a temporary one on 545. But it's not going to be a permanent light, and those road improvements are not going to happen for several years. I was just talking to Orange County Traffic last night. I rerode the neighborhood knowing I had a community meeting out there, but for another new school. But I see where we would be doing this again, and that hurts. The points that some of the last speakers made, I think, are also very important for the timing of this targeted rezoning. It went way farther in the year than we normally do these when we have students in school because of kindergarten roundup and because of putting kids into, especially the middle school, and then all of a sudden saying, nope, you're not going there anymore, and they can't get what they want on their schedules. And there's some concerns. So what I would like to recommend is that we actually table this rezoning, that we wait until the fall and look at it again, and maybe even have to wait until the end of next year before we look at it again, depending on how fast some of those developments move and if those roads can be caught up. I will try to find out what's going on with the bike trails, because as I said, I just pulled that up. I know they're not all connected, but they are in a plan. It doesn't help the lake issue. You can't get across the lake, although maybe we'd get boat drivers better than we get bus drivers. I don't know. But I would I think in the best interest of the health of the community as a whole, and not to have whiplash for these kids that could get rezoned even another time, that we may have moved a little bit too fast on this. And I always want to respond when community members have a good idea. And I think always looking at the zones and the rezoning is a good idea, especially when you live there, you know the best. But it just may be, I believe, it is just too early at this point to pull the trigger on this. And that would be my recommendation to the board, is that we table this and revisit it as we see the roads and how the populations and the school flesh out.
Is there anybody else on the board who would like to? Member Front.
I'm new to this, so just a few questions. If you were to, because we do have a lot of families who are in favor of it, and they've gone through all the steps. I feel like if we've taken them this far to table it, I mean, I don't. If we were to go through with it, the rezoning, will families who don't wish to be rezoned, they're grandfathered into their current school, correct?
So I would have Stacy answer that, but I'll say that as you get into the Sibley challenge, that's where it becomes a challenge, just because we have such high growth. We open with portables in every school. So there's capacity issues, but I'll let Stacy answer the, sorry, Chair.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Ms. Neal.
You're correct. They could grandfather, but if they have any rising siblings, they don't always get in. And in that area, the numbers don't support transfers for the siblings. But
Okay.
yes, they could grandfather.
Okay, I got you. Okay. I think that was just my only question, but thank you.
Thank you, Member Front. Any more discussion from the board? Yes, we do. We need a motion.
So I would make a motion to table this rezoning at this time and reconsider it at a future date.
I need a second of the motion that's on the floor by Member Gould. Dr. Castro-Dental seconds the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so let the record reflect that Member Castro-Dental, Member Felder, Member Gallo, Member Gould, Member Salamanca voted in the affirmative, and Member Front voted in the negative, with Member Byrd and the Chair Jacobs absent. Thank you. All right, we are going to move on. Thank you all for everybody who came out this evening to speak to us about this rezoning. We really appreciate your time and your effort. I know that this has been a long process, so we really appreciate it. Thank you. We're going to move on to our next item, which is 3.03. It's a public hearing and a request for approval of the rezoning for 129 MSE-2 to commence August 2024. Dr. Vasquez.
And I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Stacy Neal. This is, we are again asking for approval to move forward with the rezoning of the Relief Middle School for Lake Nona Middle.
I want to orient you with this map. The colored areas shown here will be included on the growth maps, and they are projects in our residential database. Currently, we maintain the status of about 600 residential projects district-wide that are either planned, platting, getting ready to start, or underway. We are in the southeast part of the county. This has been a fast-growing area for a while, with about 12,000 new students in the past 15 years. The district has built 8 new relief schools so far in that same time frame. We have a relief school site for Innovation Middle School, which is 56M SE2 in our 10-year plan. Right now, we are going to discuss 129M SE2, which is a relief school for Lake Nona Middle. It is in the South Lake Nona area, which is undergoing construction of 1,612 units in the eastern portion. The western portion is going to start in a couple of years and will be another 2,580 units. West of this, we have approved projects up and down Boggy Creek Road, over 3,000 units. Lake Nona has approved their mixed-use district, which is about 6,000 high-rise units being built over a 40-year timeline. Historically, high-rises generate very few students, but we will be keeping an eye. On the east, Eagle Creek has about 400 units left, and we do have some approved projects south of Eagle Creek. So now I will introduce Renata.
Good evening. I'm Renata Parobce, and I will present advertised option for the Relief School 129 MSE 2. The new school will open in August 2024. The green lines represent current middle school zones. The colored areas are the new proposed zones. The south side of the map is the Osceola County line. The advertised option involves Lake Nona Middle School, South Creek Middle School, Innovation Middle School, and Odyssey Middle School. The yellow area is the proposed new school. The green area is the proposed Lake Nona Middle School. The proposed South Creek Middle School is in purple. Innovation Middle School is in pink, and Odyssey Middle School is in orange color. For each school, a text box includes the school's name, permanent program capacity, number of students currently residing in the proposed zone, the projected number of students when the school opens. The yellow text comment is for the Relief School. The permanent program capacity is 1215. The proposed resides is 594. The projected number of students for the 2024 school year is between 800 and 840. The green box is for Lake Nona Middle School with permanent program capacity of 1248. And the projections for 2024 is between 1,090 and 1,130. The purple text box is for South Creek Middle School. Permanent program capacity is 1,132. The number of students residing in the zone is 1,326, and projections for 2024 are between 1,100 and 1,140. Innovation Middle School in the pink box has a permanent program capacity of 1,224. The proposed number of students residing in the zone is 1,312, and the projected number of students for 2024 is between 1,270 and 1,310. Odyssey Middle School in the orange box has a permanent program capacity of 1,135. The proposed number of students residing in the zone is 1,370, and the projected number of students for 2024 is between 1,020 and 1,060. And we have a data table. I will give you a moment to look at the numbers. And we received input from the community. 174 families support the advertised option and 45 families oppose it. This concludes my presentation. Dr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Renata.
Thank you, Dr. Vasquez.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposed map.
Okay, we have a motion by Member Salamanca and a second by Member Gould to approve the targeted rezone. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Let the record reflect that it was voted in the affirmative for those members present. All right, moving on to 3.04, which is a public hearing request approval of the rezoning for Relief School 50H-SE-2 to commence 2024. Dr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. And I do want to point out that there were no speakers for the previous public hearing. Our last public hearing for the evening is for the Relief High School of Lake Nona, school at 50H-SE-2. And again, we are requesting school board approval to move forward with this.
Hi, good evening. I'm Dr. Andy Westerman, and I'll be presenting the advertised option for the Relief School 50H-SE-2. The new school will open in August 2024. I'm the caboose of the rezoning train this evening. This is the southeast part of the county. This area around the new high school is vast and will be growing on a timeline well beyond 10 years. The major projects in the vicinity of 50H-SE-2 include Story Park, which have about 2,000 units left to construct. The school is located in Meridian Parks, which is an approved development of 6,500 units. Starting in about 5 years is Sunbridge, a development approved for 7,304 units. Another development in this vicinity, but to the north, located in the Colonial High School zone, is a project called Everby, which is 3,300 units expandable to 4,300 units. As a frame of reference, 4,300 units generates about 500 high school students using our student generation rates. To note a couple of things, first, see the location of the two schools. Both schools have growth around their facilities, so 50H-SE-2 after opening will continue to grow beyond 10 years. Also, Lake Nona High School's enrollment will continue to grow after they are relieved. The other point we need to note is that 50H-SE-2 will be our new prototype high school, which is larger than we have built in the past. It will have a capacity of 3,241 students. The blue lines here are the current high school lines. The bottom is the Osceola County line. The area in yellow is the proposed new school zone for 50H-SE-2. The map also includes Lake Nona High School in purple as a proposed future zone. For each school, a comment bubble contains information such as the school's permanent program capacity, or PPC, the proposed resides for the option presented, and the projected resides for the 2024 and 2025 school years. The 2024 school year will only have grades 9 through 11 at the new Relief School, while in the 2025 school year it will have its first senior class. Starting with the new school, the PPC is 3241, proposed resides is 2542, and projected for the 2024 school year is 1825 to 1875, and for the 2025 school year is 2615 to 2665. That's the first year for seniors. Lake Nona High School has a PPC of 2807, with a proposed resides of 2340, and projections for the 2024 school year of 2915 to 2965, and the 2025 school year of 2230 to 2280. Pardon me. Here's the table showing the effect of creating this zone. As a reminder, the first column shows each of the school's permanent program capacity, or PPC. That's 3241 for the new school and 2807 for Lake Nona High School. I'll give everyone a moment to review the numbers. The community responses showed that 104 in support and 16 opposing. This concludes my presentation for the advertised option for 50H-SE-2. Dr. Vasquez.
Thank you. And there are no speakers for this rezoning.
Thank you, Dr. Vasquez. Member Salamanca.
Yes,
you're recognized.
To make a move to approve 50HS.
You have a motion by Salamanca to approve the targeted rezone. Do I have a second? Member Ferrant is seconding. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Let the record reflect that it passed in the affirmative with those board members present. All right, that concluded that portion of the agenda. We're moving on to the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented by the superintendent. Would anybody care to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Madam Chair.
Yes? Thank you, Mr. Palmerini. Actually, we're going to pause for a minute because we need Member Felder in the room for this portion of the meeting. So we're going to take a 5-minute break and we'll be right back. She has to recuse herself. right, thank you. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to continue on with tonight's order of business, and we are at the consent approval of the consent agenda. And Member Felder, I believe you have a recusal to announce.
On the agenda this evening is approval of long-term leave from my position as a teacher with OCPS under Florida Statute 112.3143. I must abstain from voting on any measure which would inure to my special private gain or loss. I will file for the Form AB with the clerk of the school board within 15 days after the vote.
Thank you, Member Felder. So we need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Member Dr. Castle-Dental. Do we have a second? Member Front, second the approval to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Let the record reflect that it was voted in the affirmative with all members present, with the exception of Member Felder, who abstained from the vote.
And all members present who were
And I said all members present, except for Member Byrd, who's absent, and Chair Jacobs, who's absent.
Just be clear.
All right. Moving along, we're going to go to 17.01, which is the request approval for the recommendation of the renewal of the charter school contract with UCP East Charter School for 15 years and authorize staff to enter into a new charter contract based upon the model contract developed by the state. Dr. Vasquez.
Thank you. As you may recall, we brought this item previously and pulled it because there were some financial concerns. Those have since been rectified. I'm going to turn it over to Associate Superintendent Greg Moody to share more information.
Good evening, Madam Vice Chair, school board members, and Superintendent Vasquez. This evening, I have 1701. UCP East Orange Charter School opened in August of 2008 as an Orange County Public Charter School following approval of this Orange County School Board. The school is located at 12702 Science Drive. UCP East Orange Charter School serves approximately 121 pre-K ESE students. A renewal site team comprised of school choice staff, district personnel, charter school principals conducted a renewal visit January 13th, 2023. Upon conclusion of the renewal process, it was the recommendation of the committee and the Senior Director of School Choice Services that UCP East Orange Charter School be granted a renewal of their charter school contract. This evening, I bring before you for consideration the recommendation for the renewal of the charter school contract with UCP East Orange Charter School for 15 years and authorize staff to enter into a new charter contract based upon the model contract developed by the state. This evening we have from UCP East, we have the principal Marlene Sears Wilson, and from UCP we have Anna O'Connor Marin, Senior Director of UCP, and my staff to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moody. All right. Do we have any callers? Anybody? Okay, thank you. All right, Dr. Castor-Dental, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Moody, can you tell us a little bit about why why this was pulled last time and what has been corrected? More specifics?
Yes, ma'am. I'll allow Dr. Kia Scott to answer that one for us.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Protocol being established, I would like to answer your question for you. At the time of our renewal, we did not have any financial concerns with UCP East, but since the item was brought and put on the agenda, our finance department, who reviews all charter school financials, noted that they noticed a decline in financial status in a period of 3 months. And what normally happens is, once that happens, we send a notification to the school. They have 30 days to respond to the concern, and then the next set of financials are reviewed. At that particular time, I believe those were the January financials. The February financials, were the third. The financials in February were when the letter was generated. March financials come in the next month, which is April. And from that, we saw that the concern was rectified. Usually what happens is, in this particular case, the school had not received ESSA reimbursements yet. With the other schools that aren't their own LEA, our office and finance work together to provide reimbursements, but because they're their own LEA, the state is responsible for forwarding their reimbursements, and that took a little while. So they did receive their reimbursements. And because they're their own LEA, they can share funding between each school, and they also have fundraising activities, within the county, and that also helps to, add to their balances. And they're roughly, right now, they are 6% over their reserve, so they are in good financial standing, and we don't have a concern anymore. And we will clear that with them after this board meeting.
Okay, thank you. Follow up? Can you help explain or define what an LEA is?
Local education agency. So what happens is all charter schools fall under the jurisdiction of Orange County Public Schools. But because, and I can't remember the statute exactly, as John, is it that they have enough students, more students than the smallest county in Florida, they were able to, and they have the same governing board, they can become their own LEA. And what that allows for them, for instance, ESE concerns fall directly under them, and any grant funding will come directly to them and not through us.
Okay.
Any federal grant funding.
Thank you for helping. I don't have any concerns with this issue or charter, so I'm happy to be in favor of your recommendation.
Thank you. Dr. Castro-Dental, is that a motion to approve?
Yes, I move to approve the recommendation.
Do we have a second? A member Front second the motion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record reflect that it passed in the affirmative with all members present. And I don't know if we corrected the record earlier when Member Byrd left, but Member Byrd did leave. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving on to 1702, request approval to designate general counsel and deputy general counsel as a legal representative of the school board in any negotiations to retain outside counsel to represent the school board in the social media platform lawsuit. And now I will turn it over to Mrs. Imval.
Thank you. Social media companies like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and YouTube have infiltrated our communities, have become a fixture in the lives of adults and children. These social media products have become ubiquitous and have resulted in various behaviors of their users. A number of Florida school boards and school boards across the country have decided to become plaintiffs in lawsuits against the social media companies to compensate the districts for damages suffered by the districts and its students as a result of usage of these social media platforms and to seek any other appropriate relief. In that litigation, school districts are alleging, among other things, that the companies engaged in deceptive practices by designing and promoting their products to attract and addict children, and alleging that everything about these products, from inadequate age verification measures, insufficient parental controls, endless scrolling, constant notifications, and targeted algorithms, have been designed to addict teen and adolescent users. Our office has been following this litigation from the beginning, and we've discussed it with Dr. Vasquez. After reviewing the legal basis of the potential litigation and discussing among the attorneys in our office and among our colleagues in other districts, we have arranged for a presentation or a discussion to you by attorney and school board lawyer Franklin Harrison of Hand, Arendal, Harrison Sale, a Florida law firm, which has teamed up with law firms across the country, including Beasley Allen out of Atlanta, Montgomery, Dallas, and Mobile, Guzza and Hanold out of Kansas City, and Wagstaff and Cartmel out of Kansas City. And if you are familiar with the Wagstaff and Cartmel, that is the same firm that we worked with on the Jewel litigation. After you hear from Mr. Harrison, if the school board wishes to proceed as a plaintiff, the process for this potential litigation would be similar to the Jewel litigation, where the representation would be on a contingency basis, meaning that there's no expenditure of funds to initiate the litigation, which results in less risk to the district. And attached to your agenda is an attorney-client engagement agreement for your consideration. And at this time, I would like to turn it over to Mr. Harrison, who has been politely and patiently waiting through our meeting tonight.
It is really kind of fun to sit on this side of a school board meeting rather than that side. I've been representing the Bay County School Board for 44 years, which means I'm just 3 votes away from getting fired at every meeting. And so far, I haven't had to face even a motion. My superintendent, when he saw that the Seattle School District had filed a lawsuit against some of the social media companies, immediately texted me and said, we got to do that. We have bad problems. Ours started with Hurricane Michael. As you know, we were pretty devastated from that, and then it's gone from there. And he recognized the expense that we have in our schools and the devastation that it has on the kids. There's a saying that if the product is free, you probably are you're the product, if it's free. And our kids become the product of these companies, and they sell it, and they make a lot of money. The way the litigation is, I went forward and tried to look at a number of law firms that are looking at it, and our firm has dealt with the Beasley Allen firm before. We were also involved with the other 2 law firms and Beasley Allen in the Jewel litigation. We kind of got in at the last minute because I poo-pooed it, thinking I just don't quite understand why this is important. But we got at the last minute, and I know y'all were deeply involved. Y'all were a bellwether county in that, and you're very much involved. But anyway, because of our relationship with the Beasley Allen firm, our law firm we've got 91 lawyers, Birmingham, Mobile, Panama City, Destin, Panama City Beach. So we pretty much, and Fairhope, we're part of Alabama and Georgia, so we are very familiar with the Beasley Allen folks. And this law firm, the lawsuit for the Bay County School Board and for the Liberty County School Board, which we also represent, which is the smallest school district in Florida with the greatest geographic landmass of any county in Florida. But that lawsuit has been filed. It's been filed in the state court in Los Angeles. There was a number of suits that had been there. The lawyers thought that this was a better place, good jury pool, also better discovery. And so that's where we are. And that's where all of these will be formed. Now, who else is involved? I've talked to a lot of school boards. Amy and John both called me when we talked about it at Florida School Board Attorneys Association meeting. And they wanted to have more information about it. And I've gone to a number of school boards. I've been invited. I'm not a plaintiff's lawyer. You won't see me on the side of a bus. I just don't do that. But we have Gulf County, Franklin County, Liberty County. I've spoken to the Calhoun County and Jackson County school boards very favorably. Walton County, Okaloosa County is looking at it. And some others that, until they have a meeting, I really don't want to talk about them, as I wouldn't talk about you until I came to this meeting. But I'm very excited about the litigation. I think it's righteous. I think that there's a lot of money that's being made, and it's a lot of harm that goes to our students. It's very expensive to you as a school district in dealing with this every day. And hopefully we can get some accountability. And maybe we can get some controls in place so that they can determine the age of the students that they're broadcasting all of this to. Amy did a wonderful job she knows more about, that was a very good analysis of what we're doing. I'd be glad to answer any questions. Like I said, I'm a school board lawyer.
Thank you. Dr. Kester-Dental.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for waiting till this part in our meeting. I know.
My wife waited also, and she said he's been representing the school board 40-some years. I've never been to a school board meeting, which she has now.
Well, you came to the best one. Thank you.
Nothing like a rezoning.
Were you here for the pre-agenda or just the school board meeting? The pre-agenda.
No,
is
not the pre-agenda.
The fun part.
No, I know about that too.
Okay. I have a question about
Yes, ma'am.
the time frame. How long do we have to sign on to this lawsuit? Is there?
I don't know if there's any time frame. I think, as in Jewel, the earlier ones involved appeared to do better financially than the ones who got in late like we did. I mean, it's just the way it works. There is no time frame. You make your decision whenever you want to make your decision. I think that, we're prepared to go forward. Obviously, we've already filed a 70-page complaint. I don't know if any of y'all have seen that complaint, but there's a 70-page complaint that was filed that I thought was very well thought out, very well researched, but there is no time frame. And on the other end, there's no time frame on when it's going to end.
Right.
My advice was don't budget it, because you don't know when it's going to happen or if it is. I mean, it's an uphill battle. Remember, tobacco is illegal. Social media is not illegal. So it's a different kind of a lawsuit.
Follow-up question.
Absolutely.
Are there certain companies that you are addressing or were suing? Is there a list that is you can?
Yeah, I can tell
share?
you. It's part of the litigation. Let me see. I have it, so I don't miss. I don't look at all of these. It's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and YouTube. Those are the ones that are in the litigation.
Okay. Is there a chance that it would expand to other companies, or it's going to remain just that limited scope, which is actually a very broad scope? But is it possible that there would be more?
Well, I think that if the discovery and things shows that those kind of things are happening by other companies, yes. It's just like in the Jewel litigation. They are now litigating against the other defendant in the Jewel litigation. In fact, the lawyers are right now in trial in San Francisco in that case.
Okay. Would you mind repeating those companies again?
Surely. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and YouTube.
Okay. Thank you. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Front. Because I'm looking at Member Frantz like behind me. Sorry, it's almost 8 o'clock. Thank you, Dr. Casterdental. Sorry. So I have a question, and maybe it's for Mrs. Involved, but so like one of the companies listed in the lawsuit is YouTube, and we use YouTube in our classrooms, do we not, as part of for teaching? So would that be? And do we use Facebook too? So I guess my question is, would there be a conflict? Would we be like hypocritical trying to sue the same platforms that we use to educate our students?
I don't think so. And actually, when you're suing, you're actually suing the main, like the parent company. So like Meta Platforms and Facebook Holdings LLC and those kind of things. So I don't know. I think when we use them, we're using them for an educational purpose, not as a social media like framework the classrooms have.
Thank you. Member Front?
Okay, so question, I guess. I don't know who to direct it to, but what are we hoping to gain? Is it just money, or are we hoping that the platforms would change?
I think that we're hoping to. We're not going to change the kids of America and social media. They love it. What we're going to hope to do, one, is money, because it damages you in trying to run your school system. Two, we hope to get some accountability by them going forward so that we don't have the same problems in the future. It all amounts on what we get a judge that is friendly and will help us that way, or we do it through a settlement.
And accountability in what way?
Accountability in stopping the way they're doing business, the way that they keep directing the kids and holding them on the platform time and time again, So that, I mean, even in the lawsuit, it talks about that they've done studies on the dopamine and the time frame before they give them a reward so that it multiplies their addiction to the social media. When I read that lawsuit, it is frightening. It is frightening.
Interesting. Okay.
But that's part of what that's part of what we would like to do. Now, you know, it's a big lawsuit. Those are big companies, and they got a lot of money. They got a lot of lawyers.
And right now, there's how many school districts that are on this?
Well, I don't know. There are probably 8 that I know of that I represent. There are the 3 largest school districts in Alabama I know. There's some school districts in West Virginia that we represent. And then there are other law firms. There's certainly the Seattle one, which was one of the first that was filed. We anticipate there'll be hundreds in the one in Los Angeles.
Okay, and then last question. So we do not pay anything if...
Just like they say on the ads, we don't recover, you don't owe anything. No, there is no financial responsibility. Here's what you would have. 1, you have to fill out a fact sheet that we all had to do in Jewel. Yep, that's just part of it. Your demographics, those kind of things. Probably takes 4 or 5 hours of somebody's time in the school district. Now, if you're a bellwether, if you're chosen as a bellwether case, then it's much more involved and it would require much more of your time. I think you all went through that in Jewel. If that occurs, your financial rewards in the end are much greater.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's it for me.
Thank you. Member Gould.
I'm personally in favor of this if, I mean, financially and helping to educate our students and against some of the, what I would say, nefarious target marketing to them, which also contributed to the Jewel issue amongst a lot of other things that are not being regulated for age appropriate. If there's a interest expressed by a kid on, you know, a game that isn't even available to them, that algorithm is going to push content about that kind of stuff all the time. So if it'll help us get a handle on that, I am certainly in favor of it. A question, though, you know, a lot of this is also driven by not only the platforms themselves, but the platforms they reside on, like Google and, you know, Microsoft Edge and Foxfire and Chrome. Will that come out in discovery if there's culpability there? Okay.
It would come out in discovery because, you know, right now they're not who we're looking at. But in the discovery, it may come out, and that indeed they are as nefarious as these that we already talked about. I don't know. You know, I mean, we as adults, and I don't spend time on any of these things, except occasionally I will sneak a look at Facebook. But I get targeted. You know, it's almost like if you think something, then there's this ad come up on somewhere about it. You know, maybe it's because Alexis hears it. I don't know. Maybe my phone hears it. I don't know.
All of those things, actually.
All of those things are it. But look at it when it's kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they walk around. I mean, that's part of their life is that phone. More so than us. Our brains hopefully have developed way beyond theirs, but it's just part of their life. I mean, my grandchildren, I love them, but would you put the device down, please, and talk to me? You know, it's just become part of our society. And they got it figured out. And they know how to keep them looking at it and glancing at it.
Right. Well, thank you.
Thank you all. The last time I witnessed a board meeting here was when we honored John, and I watched it on television, and it was terrific. I enjoyed it so much. You have 2 great lawyers, by the way, highly respected throughout the state. They're the ones we call when we, you know, we have problems, but y'all, good night. With your growth, I mean, your growth is we got a lot of growth up where I live too. We all do in Florida. But good gracious, I mean, And I never had anybody come to a rezoning meeting in favor of it. Now, that was unusual. I've never seen that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. And we do have two fabulous general counsels. We annoy them a lot, but we love them.
Well, John can be particularly annoying.
I didn't say that. Mrs. Infall, did you wish to speak?
So some of the things that we're going to have to consider if you decide to move forward with this is some of the things that I could think that we had to expend resources on would be the hiring of additional mental health professionals, developing and implementing lesson plans on social media harms, providing training for our educators, staff, and the community, property damage if there's any mental anguish, discipline, bullying. Absolutely. So there's a lot of things that I think when we fill out whatever form there's going to be or whatever survey there's going to be, there's a lot of things in there that I think our discipline team is going to capture, like even all of our changes to the Code of Student Conduct and our investigating and responding to threats that are happening on social media. There's a lot of data there, and there's a lot of things that social media has contributed to expenditures on things that we could have spent on other things, similar to the Juul litigation. So.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Infall. And we had no speakers on this topic, correct?
We did not.
All right, perfect. Is there any more board discussion? And then at this time, what do you need from us, Ms. Infall?
So the recommended resolution is to approve to designate to General Counsel and Deputy General Counsel as the legal representatives of the school board in any negotiations with outside counsel and other plaintiff school boards for purposes of reviewing and negotiating any agreement to retain outside counsel to represent the school board in a lawsuit. And of course, once it's initiated, just like we always do, we will keep you updated on the filings and the pertinent thing of the case. And I believe Mr. Palmerini wants to add to that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to alert you all that the complaint itself I sent to you via email on April 20. So if you all wanted to take a look at it in all of its 70 some odd page glory, you have it in your inbox, so you can do that. Just wanted to alert you to that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Palmerini. All right, so we need a motion.
Wait, one more question.
Member Dr. Castor-Dental.
Quick question. If we vote to affirm and go with this lawsuit, can we then create a link or make it public so that other people can also read it and have easy access to it?
Yes, we could put on our website. We could probably, on the legal services page, we could probably put a link to it.
Okay. I move to support the recommendation of our general counsel.
Wonderful. We have a motion on the table. Is there a second? Seconded by Member Felder.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record reflect that it was voted in the affirmative by Member Farrant, Member Gould, Member Gallo, Member Felder, and Member Dr. Castor-Dental, who are present at this time. All righty then. We're moving right along. Dr. Vasquez.
I have just.
Hold on one second. Would you like to record your vote on the last topic? For the attorneys for the. Okay. No worries. Thank you. Okay, Dr. Vasquez.
I just have one brief announcement. Next week, we begin our heavy testing season. And a shout out to all of our staff that has worked diligently to prepare our students for this new exam. For parents that may be watching, we ask that, make sure your child gets a good night's sleep, they have a good breakfast, and that they are pumped up and positive because they've got this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vasquez. Mrs. Infall.
I know it's been a long meeting. I got three relatively quick things. First one is Eatonville. Mr. Palmerini gave an update at the last meeting, and since that time, the district has received a number of unsolicited offers for the property. And it's important for the public to understand that unsolicited offers for the property will not be considered. The district will publicly notice any future plans for the property, And as a reminder, the district is required to follow Section 1013.28 Florida statutes and the State Board of Education rules when it comes to the disposition of surplus property, which requires us to put it out to bid. We cannot give the land to anyone. Just want to make sure that was clear. Secondly, we have received a charter application. And if you recall, or maybe you don't recall, the legislature changed where we used to have a time certain that their applications had to be in, but now they can come in whenever they want to. So under policy IHBH, which is your alternative education school programs policy, it references a capacity interview and a work session. School choice conducts the capacity interview, and we need to know from you, just by consensus, if you would like the school boards to have a work session, or if you would rather you have individual meetings with school choice. They can go over the evaluation tool and the application process, because the 90-day timeline for the approval denial has started ticking once they filed that application last week.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So I can just get a thumbs up or a thumbs down on whether you want.
I have a question.
Yes, of course.
So who applied?
I don't know the name of the new charter school application. I would defer.
Do we know
to
the
Mr.
location?
Madam Chair, I forget the name of who applied. We don't have a location of where they would decide to, but there is a 90-day. In the past, this board has decided to do a workshop to interview the prospective board of the charter's applicant.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moody.
Okay, I'm in favor of the work session.
Do you have a consensus on doing a work session for the charter school?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you
Okay.
have consensus.
So we're going to have Ms. McGill look at your calendars.
Okay.
So, all right. One more little thing. VAB. I need my primary and my alternate school board members for the Value Adjustment Board. So last year was Angie Gallo was primary and Karen Castrodental was alternates. I need to know who wants to be primary and alternate this year. Do you want to be primary? Okay, perfect. I will put that on the agenda for next meeting. That was very good. Thank you. Yes, you were. Yep.
All right. Thank you. All right, thank you, Mrs. Inval. As indicated earlier by the board, I don't believe anybody has a committee report or anything they'd like to share at this time. Okay, we're going to do that last. But before, so is there any statement of policy level issues the board would like to agenda for subsequent meetings or work sessions? Yes. Okay, so we'll take Pam first, and then we'll go to the share out. So, Dr. Member Gould, because I just promoted you to doctor. Member Gould, you are recognized.
I didn't get any smarter sitting here.
I just got dumber.
So I think we have some challenges with the targeted zoning process when we're in master plan communities. Because while it works really well when there's not a lot of houses yet and we're able to really look at it, when you look at, I'll talk about Horizon West, and I would think this is true even with like Nona. Once we start to build out and we get requests like the one that we, put the community through a lot of hoops, and I will fall on my sword for that, because whenever the community brings something forward, I want them to have the ability to see it through. But it's not, in the case of a master plan community, especially when you have two communities, for example, like the Cove and Overlook. Once we moved it forward, all of a sudden that other community, because they weren't in the option, got cut out. But the fact is they're still highly affected. And so when we're looking at this, and I don't know if this is in the policy or we need to look at it in a management practice, but I think the way that we conduct input from the community and get that understanding is key, because those that were here tonight, that, and the sanctuary, I'm just going to dissect this one because it's all fresh in our minds. The sanctuary is on the west side of a very busy road, and the Cove and Outlook, which are connected, are on the east side of that road, but we didn't have that option coming in here. And I think that would have flushed out, even from the very beginning more, had all of those communities been equally engaged and involved. And for whatever reason, we didn't have that. And I think we need to look at the communication components. We need to look at who's included when we have this area. And then we also need to consider growth and say, yes, that's a great idea, but we may need to wait 2 years until this, and this happen. And it's an unusual circumstance for a master plan, different from when you're looking at 2 neighborhoods or, a new roadway opening up. That's completely different. But we're going to have that on the east side of town. We already have it building up even more in Lake Nona, and we're not done with Horizon West. So I would just suggest that rather than pitting neighbor against neighbor too soon, or making sure that everybody feels like they're equally communicated to, because that really became the rub.
Dr. Vasquez?
Thank you. I know that the communication was based on what we've done in the past, and so certainly our team can revisit that. And anytime you're in an area that has high growth, and I can remember back to Palm Lake in that Dr. Phillips area, we were rezoning almost every other year, and some families got rezoned 3 times. But we certainly can take a look at the communication aspect of it and have the team take a look at when we have a master planned community, what are some things we might be able to do a little bit differently so there's not as great of an impact or the angst within the community.
And just make sure all those data points are taken in. The team did nothing wrong. They followed the policy. They followed the procedure. They were very informative with those who called. But a lot of the struggle that we had were those who didn't feel included, but they felt affected. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Member Gold. And I think moving forward, we're going to have that conversation, because I think with HB1 passing and being signed into law, we're going to have to look at the whole process and how we calculate it and how we measure it, because we're going to have to find out those unknowns. So it's something that we're going to be reviewing, I would imagine, in the very near future. Dr. Castor-Dental.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to address one thing about this year's graduating, or our seniors. They spent their high school years during COVID and our virtual classes, and it's during a time of record learning loss, and the state legislature has also increased the graduation requirement needed for the concordant SAT and ACT scores for English language arts, at the same time that they have simultaneously removed the PERT test option that our students have used since 2010. And this, I don't think that's very fair for our students who have passed all their classes and have reached the same requirements that last year's students have. And unfortunately, we have about 600 students who are caught in the middle and risk not graduating, not going to college, not going into the military if they want to. And I just want to alert the board and the community members out there that there is an amendment right now to a House bill, House Bill 1357 by Representative Mazzullo. 1537 by Representative Mazzullo to postpone the increase in that SAT and ACT concordance scores for this year. And I don't know if our district has written a letter in support. We have. And if, does it go to Mazzullo or the committee or a delegation?
It went to the commissioner. We also, and the board was copied on that communication, I believe. Yes, we did. And we also sent it to our delegation. The letters that came, I believe, had an impact, which is why you saw the filing of the amendment. And it is, they're pushing that becomes effective as soon as it's voted on. And so that'll help us. It's still, it doesn't get everyone onto that graduation platform, but it certainly is going to help a number of our kids.
Well, it may also help if members of our community can also reach out to our representatives to encourage that to vote this up.
The amendment was approved on the floor today, and so it was approved to the bill. It rolls over to its third reading tomorrow. Upon that approval, I think it then gets kicked to the Senate. So absolutely, any support that we can get from the community, from our teachers in support of our kids. In that amendment, they did raise the PERT score up to 114. In the past, it was a 97 to pass. So they did raise the bar a little bit higher for our students who have yet to pass the Algebra 1 EOC, but this is a huge step in the right direction for our 2023 seniors. And as you mentioned, with the amount of students that we have that could not graduate, if this doesn't pass, it's imperative that we step up as a community and write our legislators and our senators, because it's really, at this point, it's going to pass the House. It's our senators that we need to contact.
All right. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you. That was a great point. Thank you for bringing that up. It's important legislation. Do we have any other items to discuss, share out? Nope. All right. With that, this meeting is adjourned.